Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What Do You Say Anime 2024 Anime of the Year, presented by the new Honda SUV, the Honda EV Prologue. 17 winners will be going home with the Golden Guts Award on today's episode, ranging from characters, genres, and maybe a new show joining the ranks of Vinland Saga, Odd Taxi, Jujutsu Kaisen, Bocchi the Rock, and Frieren as your Anime of the Year. If this is your first time joining us, how our awards work is each category will have a runner-up and winner voted on by the community, along with my personal choices for each as well. We also love games, so my co-hosts Miles and Cosette will be giving their thoughts on the categories and nominations, and they will be guessing the winners, and Miles will be keeping track of the correct guesses. This is a game that you can play along with as well, so try to guess the winners and let us know how many you got right, whether it's in our Spotify or YouTube comments. Yes, Spotify has a comment section for podcasts now, or in our Discord. Also, I want to say thank you to everybody who voted. Our goal was to get to 100 votes, and we ended up with 109. Also, thanks to Miles, Pat, and Jay, who are also helping contribute to our donation project this year. We were able to raise over $400 for feminine hygiene kits for Gaza. A huge accomplishment, and wouldn't have happened without the support of our community, so thank you. Before we jump into our first category, any final parting words to 2024?
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be saying this at the start of 2024, but I think I'm going to miss 2024. It was I'm going to say it was a good year, but there could be worse years, like 2025.
Yep.
So, that's where I am. What about you, Cosette?
2024 had a really good start. I think winter 2024 was probably the strongest season since spring 2023.
Yep.
But I feel like the year kind of not fizzled out, but it started at a peak, so it kind of just went a little downward, but it was still a great year. I mean, we got Apothecary Diaries, Frieren, Sign of Affection, and Delicious Dungeon in one season, so that was pretty goated. As the movie girl, we got a lot of anime movies this year that are available in North America, which I was really, 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 really excited about, including Look Back. And we got Kimi ni Todoke back after like 13 years, so I'm very thankful for that. And we got the Witch Hat Atelier trailer, so that was my highlight of the year. How about you, Pete?
Yeah, 2024, I'm with Miles mentally and Cosette anime mentally, or whatever, how you can do that. I thought 2024
was an anime podcast. I forgot.
No. It's all good. It's all good because I feel you. It's kind of why our donation was kind of the way it was. So, hoping for a better future. 2024 was a good year for anime. It wasn't as good as 2023, but that's really hard because I thought that year was just insane. But you mentioned we had some major heavy hitters, some that we are continuing to seeing even now. And I thought this was a really good year for watching anime. Agreed. Started off really strong, sort of fizzled at the end. But nonetheless, I found enjoyment throughout each season of anime. So nonetheless, I still had a really good time watching what I watched. So, and that's why we are here. We're here to give our thanks and gives out some awards to the best shows and categories that we have for anime 2024. Without further ado, let's start off, as always, like you do opening the show, with our best OP. Our nominations were Wrong World from Girls Band Cry, Bing Blang, whatever it was from Mashal, Vengeance from Ninja Kamui, Otanoke from Dandadan, Preview of Me from Go-Go Loser Ranger, and Bokuwa from The Dangers in My Heart. We are kicking it off with Miles. Miles, what do you think that the community voted for their runner-up and winner?
Yes. So I think that the community is going to pick. I've been trying to figure out how to do this. Cosette, better student than I am. Pete, she's already has her stuff mapped out. I just sort of like to wing things.
Oh, it's like this is off the rip
in the moment. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Damn.
This is just we're just this is how I always do it. It's all vibes.
Damn, you do a really good job at. I always assumed you come prepared.
Oh no, for this particular show? Yeah. No, never in my life.
Damn.
You never hustle.
You hide it well.
But I'm thinking about what plays into people's joy for an OP. There's a few things that I think of. One, I think that connection to the property itself is helpful. If you're looking forward to watching a show, it's good. That song's gonna like really kick it for you, right? Like I feel like there's a reason we don't have the Nokotan one on here, and it's because that was the best part of the show, and like that was great and everything, but also we'll see what happens in our disappointments category. But because of that, for the winner for the community, I'm going to pick Tokonoke because I think it has some banger show, banger OP, recency bias, which I think is important, and that's sort of what I'm thinking about because sometimes I'll be looking at a category when we're first getting our votes in. I'll be like, oh my God, that didn't come out in 2018. What is time? And, it's sort of hard to forget that Dan Dan is like, because it's just like airing while this is happening, more or less. Then I'm going for the runner-up community. I'm going to say it's Wrong World. This was my choice for it. Our community, a little biased towards Girls Band Cry. We're like very high on that. It's our highest rated Watch Club show. We have a lot of community members who like that. So I'm thinking that even though the show, didn't get like aired on a major streaming service during its season or anything, because of our little segment of the internet that we live in, that is able to like make that bump to runner-up. Josette, what are your thoughts on the community?
This is my first year doing this, and the thing with the community is I know what the vibes are like in the Discord. Join the Discord if you haven't. But I know that the form went out to the Netherverse on Twitter and Blue Sky, and the anime community is bigger there. So I kind of had to go to the popularity vote. So I think it's Dan and Dan number one. I think in our community is Girls Band Cry, but I think the community were hyping up Dan and Dan pretty hard. So I think that was number one. And honestly, I think Mashal's probably number two. I think those two were the most hyped OPs this year in the community, the wider community. I think in our internal community, Girls Band Cry probably would have won. But yeah, I'm going with that.
I love it. Okay, so let's get to our winners. Our runner-up with 16.5% of the vote was Bling Bang Bang Born from Mashal. So Cosette, you were correct. It was our runner-up. My runner-up was Wrong World from Girls Band Cry. I thought it was absolutely incredible. The visuals and the song itself were just top tier. Absolutely loved it. And our winner with 50.5% of the vote. This is our this is our biggest wash. We're going to start off with our biggest wash. 50.5% of the vote. Something like, what was it? Like 55 votes, I think it was Otonoke from Don to Don. Like, absolutely crushed it. So Creepy Nuts got the sweep. They did both of these songs for the community. So Creepy Nuts is the new Yaosubi, essentially, for this year. It was a big one. My winner was Vengeance.
Ooh.
So last year, my most listened to song was the Undead Girl Murder Farce song. And I didn't pick it as my winner. And I kind of regretted it because it was my favorite. I listened to it the most. I think it was my second most listened to song in general. And I was like, man, I really should just pick my favorite and not what I think is the best. Vengeance is up there with one of my most listened to songs from 2024. Like, I love it. It reminds me of like the early high school days of like the pop punk I listened to, sort of the emo stuff I used to listen to a lot. And I just fell in love with the song. I think it's great. I think it matches the theme. I haven't watched the show, but I'm assuming it matches the theme of what Ninja Kamui is. Based off the OP, it's very bloody and violent. And that's what I got from the OP. I was just like, I mean, it's like my number one played song for my like gym playlist. Like, it just gets me jacked. I think it's just a really well done song. So what are your guys' thoughts on the winners and runner up?
Yeah. Well, I mean, clearly, Cosette has the right thoughts here. I think I let my personal bias of thinking Mashal is mid as fuck get to me.
I think this is the Nokotan thing. I think the best part of Mashal is the OP.
Yeah.
Cosette, you got any thoughts on the winners?
Popularity vote. That's where I'm going now.
Yeah, I'm kind of in like the minority. I thought the Dandan OP was like okay. Like, I think it sounded a lot like Bling Bang Bang Born, like way too much. And so I was just like, it's really hard to judge the two. I was only gonna put one Creepy Nuts song in this because I didn't want to split the vote, but then they ended up just destroying it. So like, I worked out for people who like those that artist because they are walking away with both of our awards. So that is our best OP of 2025. Congratulations to Don for Otonoke and Creepy Nuts. Moving on to our best ED of the year. Our 6 nominations were Anywhere, Anytime, version 2 from Freerin, The Other Story from Ari Fueta season 3, Tai Dada from Don, Crazy for You from Too Many Losing Heroines, Burning from Oshinoko, and Zatai Sekai. I think that's how you say it, from Dead Dead Demons Destruction. Miles, why don't you start us off with what you think won Best ED? You are muted.
EDs are always a little bit harder for me to figure out. I think that there's like a lot of casual people that I'm friends. Well, they're not casual people. A lot of casual anime fans that I'm friends with. What like if I was like, "Hey, what's your favorite ED?" They'd be like, "No idea. Don't
Yep.
even know what an ED even is." You know, where an OP they would, but when it ends, they're probably hitting play next episode on the Netflix button or whatever. However, all my casual anime friends that I have watch Dan to Dan. And so I will be picking for the winner. And I know this isn't super thing. So many people I know have watched this that don't normally watch a ton of anime, that like people that I would have had to like beat up to try to get to watch Free Rent, which was very popular, just watch Dan to Dan. And so, that was sort of my thought there. And then for runner up, I am going to go with Anywhere, Anytime. It's a little tough. That aired earlier in the year. It's a little calmer. I don't know if it stuck with people as much, but I really liked it. And then, like, I feel like Free Run has like staying power. People might remember that. A lot of good options though. It's weird not picking an Oshinoko song when it's like there. I did like Burning, but I do think it suffers a bit from the fact that the first season OP and ED were just absolute crushing bangers and stuff. And
Yeah.
so like not even necessarily fair to the new songs, but they just don't really encompass the song in the same way that like Idol or Mephisto did. Cosette, what do we think?
In my heart, it's Dead Dead Demons, but I feel like I didn't see the community outside of our group talk about Dead Dead Demons that much.
I
And I
know.
love the song so much, but I didn't see it a lot on Twitter and Blue Sky. So I'm gonna go the basic route. I think Free Run's number one because
Okay.
people just like Free Run. That's like my thinking right now. Plus, it was like the visuals are really beautiful. I think the song was a bit more enhanced than the first part of the season. So I'm gonna go with Free Run with number one. The runner up was hard, but I'm gonna go with my gut and say Oshinoko because people like Oshinoko. Plus, I really like Burning, and I'm wearing my Oshinoko shirt right
Nice.
now.
I should have worn mine. We could have matched.
Next time we'll coordinate.
2025 Anime of the Year.
I'm gonna go with my gut. I think people like Oshinoko, so I'm gonna just do that for my runner-up.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. Let's get to the winners. The community runner-up with 18.3% was, I'm supposed to say Z from Dead Dead Demons.
Oh, yay!
My runner-up, it's the reason why it's here, is The Other Story. Very rarely do we ever get baby making music in anime, either for OPs or EDs. Not since Jodeci and JoJo's Part 4 or 5, I believe, do we have a song that made me move my hips the way The Other Story did. So I just love this song. It was so much fun. The community winner with 38.5% of the vote was Anywhere, Anytime from Free
Nice, okay.
Red. And my winner was the Dead Dead Demons ED. I just think that song is absolute. That I don't even think it was close. I thought that ED was next level. The first take version of it was incredible. The music video was super fun, like everything about it. And then having the voice actresses do the ED was just like the icing on the cake. Like it was just so much fun. I feel like it matched the personality of the two characters from Dead Dead Demons a lot. And the song is just an omega banger, like straight up. I just had an absolute blast listening to the song. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, we just sadly live in a world where just not enough people watch Dead Dead Demons.
100%.
And I'm not exactly sure why. I feel like it's something that could have like caught on more than it did. It definitely had like an intriguing enough premise and everything, but I feel like, dare I say, losers like us who are like really into the anime scene or whatever, like this sort of community, like the really like the more intense community caught on to it, but it just didn't get that broad appeal of the bigger properties or whatever. Cosette, our thoughts?
I should have went with my heart. Damn.
You should have, yeah. That's what anime tries to teach us.
You got 15 other categories to go with your heart.
You're also
Um,
winning with 4 points to 1 currently, so
Yep.
you're good.
yeah, honestly, I'm so happy with Dead End Demons, even though it wasn't Oshinoko, but that's sweet. I love it. I love Dead End Demons so much. I mean, even though it was runner up, but it's fantastic. I waited for actually no, this I didn't wait for this one on Spotify. It was available right away, so that was pretty awesome, and I'm happy about it.
Yes, this is your PSA to go watch Dead Demons. It's fantastic. It is an incredible story. I don't understand why people like don't watch it. It has so many great elements, but that was Best CD. Winners were Anytime Anywhere, and the runner-up was from Dead Demons. Moving on to a category that was separated by 1 vote. We have Best Action and Adventure. Your nominees were Freerin, ReZero, Delicious in Dungeon, Dawn to Dawn, Windbreaker, and Kaiju number 8. Miles, what are we
So you're
thinking of this one?
You're telling me Windbreaker and Kaiju number 8 were 1 and 2, separated by 1 vote? Crazy.
Maybe.
I would be surprised. To me, this was always sort of like a 3-horse race, especially with my agenda of hating on ReZero Season 3 Part 1.
A show that you did not watch.
No, of course not. No, I just, we had to, sometimes you just need to draw a line in the sand. And
you're the parallel to Johnny. Like, you gotta be the opposite.
I drew it between ReZero Season 2 and Season 3. That's where my line in the sand is. Okay, so Dan to Dan, insanely popular. Same with Dungeon Meshi and Freerin. Freerin, the oldest of these shows, I think. Maybe Dungeon Meshi 2. I don't know how time works anymore. But I think, to me, it's going to be between Freerin and Dan to Dan. And I don't know. I'm going to say Dan to Dan is going to win and Freerin is going to come in second. I think that, you got some voter fatigue. Freerin was our anime of the year last year. Maybe people are like, hey, I voted for Freerin last year. Maybe I even like it more, but I want to give Dan to Dan its chance to shine. And again, more recency bias. But I don't know. Maybe I'm super wrong. Because what do you think?
Honestly, I was thinking the recency bias too, because like with action, I'm like, I don't know. That's really hard. Everybody likes these shows. The only show I don't get a pulse on is ReZero. And so I'm just going to go with my heart with this one.
Okay,
Freerin 1 and Delicious in Dungeon number 2, because those are my top 2, and I chose Freerin, but Delicious in Dungeon is my second up. So there's my 2.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's get to our winners. Our community runner-up with 31.2%. That's the runner-up.
Oh, well, okay. Something
was Dawn to Dawn.
Oh, wow.
No, I got cooked.
In a shocking surprise, my runner-up was Windbreaker.
Ooh.
Oh.
I thought the action in Windbreaker was insane. I think it's the best choreography in terms of fighting in anime history. Like, I think it's better than like JJK season 2. Like, I think it's just nuts what they did with the choreography in Windbreaker. Like, Cloverworks knocked it out of the park. They would probably be like my runner-up for like studio of the year. Like, I just thought what they did with Windbreaker, taking a story like it and doing what it did, was next level. I think it also helps that like the cast is so lovable. It's really fun. But the big difference with me was just like the straight up choreography of the fights. And it was like all action. Like, it was all action all the time. So wanted to give Windbreaker its props. The community winner with 32.1% was Freerin. It won by 1 vote. And no surprise, my winner was also Freerin. It's Freerin. Like, come on. It's next level shit. Like, it was so good this year. I'm personally just judging it off the second half. I know not everybody does it, but we got some great moments with the trial arc that they did, the fight with the clones. I thought the whole aspect of it was just fantastic. And yeah, I think it's to me, this was like a slam dunk easy winner. But what are your guys' thoughts for the winners?
Well, I got 0 points despite guessing both shows correctly. So good job, me.
Good job, man.
Your
logic was sound though.
Yeah, it was tough. I actually think if we recall back, we like memory trip here to our nominations episode, I think I said I was going to vote for Dan to Dan over Freerin because I thought of Dan to Dan as more actiony and everything. And then I'm pretty sure I didn't do that. So I I think I played myself.
Congratulations,
however,
you played yourself.
I don't think these choices are wrong. I just want to give a shout out to Dungeon Meshi, which I think does the adventure part of this very well. And the action part okay as well, but not as well as Freerun or Dan to Dan. But I just think it really gets that adventuring part right.
100%.
And I mean, obviously, no complaints here. Freerun is one of my favorite shows ever, and I very much love Dan to Dan, and I get why it is the way it's received, and so that's it for me. I think community did a good job.
Yeah. I'm not surprised with Ruin. Everybody pretty much watched it. Everybody loved it. I'm sad about Dungeon Meshi.
Is it
That-
third?
I would have to go back and check.
Okay.
Okay, I would love to know. I'm not surprised with it. It literally just ended. And it was pretty awesome, honestly, compared to the others. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, losing by 1 vote to Freerun, I think, is a dub for itself.
Yes.
So I think it's well deserved. I think it probably would have been my third choice, I think, in this. I personally thought this category was pretty stacked. I think you can make an argument for 5 of the 6. With that being said, with action and adventure comes fights. Who doesn't love a good fight? So we're going to do our nominations for best fight. Your nominations were Acrobat Silky in Don to Don, Sakura versus Togame in Windbreaker, Clone Freerun versus Fern and Freerun from Freerun, Tokiyuki versus Shokan from The Elusive Samurai, the Weathermon fight from Shangri-La Frontier, and Kafka versus General Shinomiya from Kaiju number 8. Miles, would you like to start?
I will. Pete, do you know what my favorite harem anime is?
Quintessential Quintuplets.
That is the correct answer. The answer I was looking for was We Never Learn. And I'm about to demonstrate that.
Okay.
Because for the community winner, once again, I'm going to pick Dan. Yeah, with the Acro Silky fight. I'm going to put it above the Clone Freerun fight, which I think will be the runner-up. Now, did I just lose making this exact distinction? Yes. But I don't learn. I thought the Acro Silky fight did something that I generally do not like in anime fights, which is when they do the flashback thing in the middle of the fight. It always makes me want to jump out of a building. I thought it did it well. I thought it was executed well. It was impressive. It almost made me feel feelings, and that was nice. It made my wife cry. And I think that is like pretty powerful, along with the great Sakuga and everything like that. The Clone Freerun fight goes really hard. You have Fern, Freerun teaming up against Freerun. It's a great learning moment for Fern and everything. But I just think while it was great, it isn't quite the story beat that the Acro Silky thing is. That sort of brings an entire new and better character into the fold for Dan to Dan. It's pretty big. I would like to shout out Shangri-La Frontier. I don't like that show.
Me neither, but the fight went hard.
It did. I did like the Kaiju number 8 fight as well. Pete, I'm here. I didn't watch Windbreaker. I'm curious to see your thoughts on it because I know what you care about in fights is like the story impact, right? You had 2 6-year-olds fighting each other as your fight of the year a couple years ago.
It was my runner-up, and that fight was hard as shit.
Yeah.
Those toddlers really knew how to fight.
Yeah, they look. Hey, I got kicked by mine today. Hey, they can fight. But I'm curious because you were saying oh my god, this is amazing choreography and everything. But I wonder if it packs that emotional punch that you require for fight of the year. I'm curious, Cosette, what are your thoughts on our fights?
Flipped my answer. In terms of fights, I do go for the emotional, cool, punch, cool. Yeah, whatever. I flipped my answer. One thing that I thought about, because for some reason with Acro Silky, I only thought about the punching, fighting moments, but I didn't include the backstory in the fight when I was thinking about this. Because to me, I'm just thinking about the actual combat and not the back.
That's interesting.
And I was wondering, what does the average person, how would they actually judge best fight? Would they include the backstory or not? And I think they actually would.
Okay.
So I think I'm going with Acro Silky as well. Dan to Dan number 1. And then Freerun for runner-up. It was flipped earlier. And then I thought about it, and I'm I'm interpreting this differently.
Yeah, you might be right, though, because there are part of the when we're discussing fights and stuff, I'll just be like, well, the entire episode was a fight because it's like all one narrative thing, and Pete will be like, no, Miles, like the part where they were fighting was the fight. It was just like the entire episode was the fight. It was, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird with like incorporating all of that backstory stuff, but I did think it. Well, you know what? We'll find out. Pete, what do we got?
Sounds good. Let's get to our winners. Our runner-up with 19.3% of the vote went to the Acro Silky fight from Don to Don. Which was also my runner-up. You mentioned it. I think the impact to the story itself was the most important part. The fight itself, like you said, the Sakuga was nuts, but like sort of like showing the emotion of like what the fight actually means to the characters and the backstory of that character, I thought was like really well done. I loved it in the manga. I loved it even more in the anime. So I think it deserved my runner up, and the winner with 42.2% of the vote went to Clone Freerin versus Fern and Freerin, which was also my winner. You did it. Congratulations, Miles. You played yourself. Yes.
But I also played Cosette this time.
Yes. Yeah, but I flipped it earlier because I started overthinking. It. I'm like, people would choose
your heart. Think of your heart. This fight was absolutely just nuts. Like straight up, it's sort of the climax to this whole test arc that they had. I thought when, like you said, the learning moments that Fern sort of got, because she got in this fight, like she got smoked, and it really showcased Freerin, I think, a little bit more as like a battle mage. And the Sakuga in Freerin is just like next level. Like I don't think it has a big of an impact as Don did, but I just think the fight itself went like ballistic. Like it was. Like, if I had to pick between a best fight in Freerin between this or the Line and Lunger versus Stark and Fern fight, like, I think they're both just, like, goated. Like, I legit think, like, Freerin has two of, like, the best, like, 7 fights I've ever seen in anime. Like, it's so good, and I think it just really capped off what that arc was. So, your guys' thoughts while you're beating yourself up on best fight?
So, I mean, I expected those two fights to be in the top 2. I don't know why, and I'm learning this lesson slowly, but Freerin's on a different level, huh? Like, that is what I'm learning.
Just for reference, for last year in Best Fantasy, it had 70% of the votes.
yeah, for sure. I don't know, because do you learn anything other than never trust Miles's instincts?
Like, my gut was right for a little bit. Now I'm starting to tank like this year. So, but we guessed the right ones. I think we're still doing good. We got a pulse on the community. So I think we're doing.
Yeah, honestly, great year for fights. Even like a show like Elusive Samurai that I didn't watch, that fight is insane. Like I've watched it multiple times just because of the animation. Once again, Cloverworks and their choreography in fights this year is bonkers. We had 2 Cloverworks properties in this category, and they killed it. Like Cloverworks is like cementing itself as like a top 5 studio in anime right now. Like they're getting there. Like I think they're like honestly, they're all past like MAPPA in terms of like action animation. Like they're knocking out of the park, and they did it in 2024. I can't wait to see what they do in 2025. Even though they're doing the rom-com, the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, who knows? There's a delinquent in that show, so we will see what Cloverworks does for 2025.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I have fights that I am surprised didn't make it, and that is rare because normally I don't care at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that there were enough. Well, I know you don't like this fight as much as I do, but like Jinwoo versus Igris at the end of Soul Level A.
That was like one of the last ones to get cut. Yep. The necromancy fight or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was like
hard.
That was like a big one for me. And then I don't know any others at the top, but the fact that there's one is impressive.
That's true. For someone like you,
normally,
absolutely.
I don't remember fights ever.
100%. Sick. Well, congratulations to Freerin and Donadon again for winning best fights. Next up is best fantasy and sci-fi. Your nominations are Delicious in Dungeon, ReZero, Dead Demons Destructions, Yatagarasu, Bravern and Freerin. Miles, you going with your heart or with your head this time?
Okay. So I'm going to be guessing Dan to Dan first, even though it's not nominated, and then
Good call.
Freerin second because, though I would argue that it does have like an urban fantasy element and could have potentially been.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that.
However, it's good to get some variety. Speaking of variety, Freerin's going to win this. I voted for Dead Dead Demons. I love Dead Dead Demons. It's very special to me. 6 people watched Dead Dead Demons, so it will not win this
3 of them are
category.
here.
Yes. I'm going to go with Dungeon Meshi number 2. I think it's the second most popular show, and I think it is high quality and deserving of that. The only thing that gave me pause is, and this is a little metagamey, you told me the shows that had more than 7 votes for anime of the year.
Yep.
And Bravern was on that
list. That is correct.
We have more than we have a Girls Band Cry, at least proportionally. We have a Bravern Discord and group. But I just can't see anyone who isn't that core group voting for it because they didn't watch it. Much like Dead Dead Demons, nobody watched Bravern. Our Watch Club co-host Jay asked me to find him some Bravern merch when I was in Japan. I looked in a lot of places, and there wasn't any. So, who knows? Those are my thoughts, though. I'm going with Freerin number 1. I will never make this again. Just wait till we get to best romance. Freerin.
Yep.
Sure.
For the number 2.
I'll just be like Fern Stark subplot beats sign of affection for sure. Cosette, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's Freerin number 1, obviously. Come on, there's a common theme going on in the last.
Wait, Cosette, you're telling me the show that got 70% of the votes last year is a win again this year? I don't believe you.
What I'm debating on is which D to pick, because Delicious in Dungeon was really good.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But Dead Dead won best ED. And so, because I'm trying to get a vibe of what the community likes, and it's really hard.
It is really hard to pick the best D pick. I agree.
One has twice as many Ds. I'm just saying.
True. And I started thinking, I feel like Dead Dead Demons didn't do as well because it came out, summer?
Yes.
Fall. Summer.
It was like in between somewhere. Yeah.
It's fall seasonals. People don't really watch them because it's the summer and people have lives and they do cool stuff. Unlike us. So, okay, let's just do Delicious and Dungeon runner up.
Okay.
I still, in my gut, I still feel like not many people watch Dead Dead Demons. So Freerin and then Delicious and Dungeon.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah.
Your community runner-up with 27.5% of the votes was Delicious and Dungeon. My runner-up was Dead Dead Demons. Absolutely incredible. We've gotten 2, I think, Juggernaut Sci-Fis back-to-back years. Last year was Pluto. This year was Dead Dead Demons. I think just fantastic sci-fi that we've gotten in the last couple of years. Winner with 36.7% of the vote, almost halved from last year, was Freerin. Wow. And then my winner was Freerin. Like, let's be real. It's, in my opinion, it's the best fantasy anime ever made. It's just not even close. So I don't know if we have to add anything more because you guys were both correct. And I think if you have any words, go for it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of more things to say about Freerin because I need the practice for later on in this episode when I have to say more things about Freerin.
Luckily, the next couple categories, Freerin was not nominated.
I already told you I'm voting for Freerin for best romance and slice of life. Because you have like a bunch of shonen meatheads who are like, nothing happens in Freerin. Is it a slice of life? So, yeah, I don't know. I'll speak to the fantasy element of Freerin. I think that the magic system is very interesting. I think some aspects of the world building are very interesting and neat. I think that it is not particularly imaginative. It's like a pretty standard fantasy world. However, the way that the characters interact with that standard, oh my lord, fantasy world is interesting and good. Just little touches, like all the different spells there are, how people interact with different creatures and stuff, and how that all works. I think it does a pretty good job. Cosette?
Both Free Run and Delicious Dungeon have a nice balance, and I think I've said this in a few review episodes, is that they have a nice balance between fantasy, action, slice of life, comedy. It's a really nice balance. And yes, there's some semi-sad moments, and I think that's why they both do so well, because they attract someone like me, because I don't want a bunch of action. I want a bit of slice of life, I want a bit of comedy, I want a bit of romance. And of course, the fantasy element's amazing. And it's actually easy to comprehend. It doesn't go over your head. There's no magic systems to understand for the most part. So yeah, I think they're both very well deserved.
Absolutely. All right. So our winners were Delicious in Dungeon and Free Run. Now let's move on to a category that doesn't have either of them. We'll do Best Drama. Your nominations were Orb, Girls Band Cry, Sound Euphonium Season 3, Oshinoko Season 2, Yatagarasu, and The Apothecary Diaries. Mao Mao's number one simp, Miles. Take it away.
Yeah, so I have Apothecary Diaries as my winner for this. I have Apothecary Diaries as the community's winner for this. Pete, you had better fucking pick Apothecary Diaries. Do you understand me? Do you fucking get it? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we'll wait and see.
I can guess that won't happen based on what else is nominated, but watch out.
You never know.
Okay. Now, my runner-up is Girls Band Cry, and I'm almost tempted to pick it. I'm so tempted to, but Oshinoko exists, and like, I don't know. There are 2 out of the 3 people on this have the exact same Oshinoko t-shirt. I have a giant Oshinoko poster behind me. I just feel like maybe, you know what, I'm going to go with Oshinoko. I liked Girls Band Cry more, but I just think the ubiquity of Oshinoko is going to get it the runner-up. That's my thought.
Nice. I have to go with the queen. She's number one. Obviously.
I literally wrote Free Run for both of our winners just out of habit.
I've been a day one stan, so I have to support my girl. No, but Apothecary Diaries is my perfect kind of show. So that is number one. And everybody loved her. And I was really happy how many people love her. It's kind of unfair that Free Run and Apothecary Diaries aired at the same time because they're pretty much rivals. Second, like you said with Girls Band Cry, we loved it as a community. I think we hyped it up so much, but I think the detriment is that it wasn't available for streaming for most people, and not many people wanted to sail. So I am Team Oshinoko for number 2 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Our community runner-up with 14.7% of the vote was Girls Band Cry.
I'll take it.
That's awesome.
My runner-up was Yatagarasu. Specifically, episode 13, I just thought was absolutely incredible. It was one of the best episodes of the year. The drama element that it had just reminded me so much of Game of Thrones with the deception and everything that went along with it. Along with episode, I believe it was 19. Yatagarasu's drama was just fantastic. Like, I absolutely adored it. The characters were great, and just having this like fantasy element with the drama was a nice, refreshing take on anime. So I was a big fan of that. Our community winner with 31.2% of the vote was Apothecary Diaries. Yay! Mao Mao gets her flowers. My winner was Oshinoko. Tokyo Blade is my favorite arc in the manga, and I thought they elevated it in the anime. It was one of the best directed anime I've ever seen. It felt like I was at a stage play. That's how well it was directed. And I just thought like the drama that went along with it, more along the lines of characters of like Aqua and Akane, their relationship, I thought was really blossomed this season. And just everything that went along with Tokyo Blade was fantastic. So Oshinoko was my winner. So guys, your thoughts on the runner-up and winner for best drama?
Yeah, that's both. I mean, it's what we wanted to guess, right? So we have not quite learned about the power of trusting our hearts yet. That is our arc for this.
You got 10 more categories to figure it out.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised, honestly, that Girls Band Cry beat out Oshinoko. I'm happy about it.
Me too.
I think Girls Band Cry is amazing. And as much as I love Oshinoko, I just always think it's good. Like, I love it when like season ones or like originals beat out sequels. I just like that, because like it's already had Oshinoko won like a billion awards, whatever, last time or something like that. And so I don't know. I'm happy with this. I'm really excited that Nina gets up on the podium. What about you, Cosette?
Dramas was a really hard one because all the shows are pretty much fantastic. I think Yatagarasu was definitely on the top just because it was Game of Thrones like drama. It's really, 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 really good. With Orb, it feels like, I mean, we're only halfway through the season, and I feel like maybe it's still under the radar, just like
For
Yatagarasu.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, Oshinoko, like the second season was my favorite. Like, I liked it better than the first season, to be quite honest.
More
But I'm
Kane, I get it.
I'm Team
Shut up,
Kana.
Miles.
I'm Team Kana actually,
Oh, it's
but
okay. We all make mistakes.
Boo this
but
man.
I'm really glad. I'm really really glad that Girls Man Cry is getting his flowers. So pretty awesome.
Yep, I have the results up here. Girls Band Cry beat Oshinoko by a vote. So this was a very, very contested category. Like outside of Apothecaries getting 31%, a lot of them were within like 1 or 2 votes of each other. So a very, very contested category, which I thought, because I thought this was the most stacked one, because I have 2 10s and 4 9s of these shows. Like straight up, like all these shows were just absolute bangers. It was very hard to pick it, but I was going strictly off of the drama element, where say something like Sound Euphonium I liked better than Yatagarasu, but I think Yatagarasu did the drama better than Sound Euphonium. So that's kind of what my reasoning was behind picking that over a show that I rated higher than it. So great category. Orb is 100% going to be on this list next year. It's absolutely nuts. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the front runner. Like that and Apothecary Diaries are going to be neck and neck, I think, next year. So best drama, a super fun category as always. And shout out to our winners, Apothecary Diaries and Girls Band Cry. Moving on to the best genre, best romance. All right, our nominations for best romance are A Sign of Affection, The Dangers in My Heart Season 2, Pseudo Harem, The Magical Girl and Evil Lieutenant Used to Be Enemies, Kimi ni Todoke Season 3, and Too Many Losing Heroines. Miles, the biggest heroines fan, I'll let you take the lead.
I just love heroines.
Oh, you love heroine. My bad.
Yeah, it's I get it.
Blunder by B.
Yeah. Inject that and Anna into my veins. Yeah, so romance was interesting for me this season because I've not watched Kimi ni Todoke, so I obviously could not watch the 3rd season. But that was like a pretty big one. And then other than that, there was like A Sign of Affection, which I thought was like a pretty big hitter romance. And then everything else was like not what I would consider like a big hitter sort of thing. I know that Dangers in My Heart probably is considered that. I don't care. So, but I really enjoyed Pseudo Harem. I really liked Magical Girl and the Evil Lieutenant. I just didn't. I don't know. I just not something I would vote for romance ever. Really, like they had cute moments, but it was like a little skitty and comedy-y, and like there was a little too many situations that were like a little sketchy with her for me to like really invest into the romantic aspect of it, sometimes. And then there was Too Many Losing Heroines, my favorite show of the year. I really loved the main character of that show. I thought he was a good guy and like definitely didn't walk over a whole bunch of women's feelings and act like he was a hero for doing it. Definitely didn't think that. So I really liked the romance in that, which mostly involved people getting rejected. Actually, almost entirely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with The Sign of Affection. It was my vote coming from the world's biggest Sign of Affection hater, me. As I've said before, It's Me is too hot. It is a problem. But I think this is a show that reached a lot of people. I really, despite what I say, I really liked the chemistry between Itsumi and Yuki. And I loved the care that went into creating the show with Yuki's deafness, the lessons that they taught on Japanese sign language, which I thought was like really cool. There's a lot of really intuitive stuff in there, which is neat. Like you just draw the kanji with your hands sometimes. And I like that. I liked the B couple. As Pete knows, B couples are very important to me in romances, as I am a contrarian and tend to care about them more. So they're friends who were like getting
You
together
would
in the
love
background.
Kimini Todoke.
Okay.
Not only is the B couple amazing, it's the best couple in the entire show.
Okay, I will. It is on the list. And then I'm going to put Kimini Todoke as my choice for the community runner-up. I know it was highly anticipated. I just can't bring myself to vote for Dangers in My Heart season 2. I literally forgot it existed multiple times while looking at this list that has it after I've talked about it. I don't like him.
There was somebody on Twitter mad that I didn't include him as best boy. I literally responded to him, why? And he never got back to me.
I don't. If you're listening, okay, I will never and have not get past the first 3 episodes of the series. I think it's weird to want to murder people. I don't think that is healthy. I think instead of dating them, you should go to therapy. And that's my thought. What you could do to make the show better is write it better. Whoever wrote the show could have simply wrote him to be a little weird, maybe a bit stalkerish, and not want to murder her. Those are my thoughts. Cosette, what are your thoughts?
I'm like, since it's the best romance, I feel like I should go with my heart with this one, not a logical answer.
The dangers in your heart?
Do you feel like
Gigi
murdering Miles right now?
I think Magical Girl and Gigi Harem, it was beloved in the Discord. I didn't really see much about them outside the Discord on Twitter. And then with heroines, I just saw so much heroine gifs on Twitter. But then I know people love Anna so much on Dangers in My Heart. And I feel like they don't like the guy. They watch the show for her.
100%.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
They don't watch it for their romance. They watch it for her. And I feel like she has so many devoted fans. They would just hijack this form and just vote for her.
That's super possible.
But I'm going to go with my heart.
Okay.
Sign of Affection #1, because it was very, 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 very well done. It gave me butterflies, honey glows. It was amazing. And then, of course, Kimini Todoke for runner-up, because it's one of my favorites. It's just Sign of Affection just made me feel a bit more happy. The next season of Kimini Todoke, that will be #1 for the entire eternity of my life. So I know the next season is going to be really, really good. So I'll say Sign of Affection #1. And then Kimini Todoke runner-up.
We only have to wait 11 more years for the next season of Kimini Todoke. I can't wait.
We have 2 shows that are carried by a character named Anna that has an annoying male counterpart.
Yep.
In this category. That's neat. I like that.
All right. Let's get to our runner-up with 18.3% of the vote. Our runner-up was The Dangers in My Heart Season 2.
Yeah.
My runner-up was A Sign of Affection. Miles said, I just thought it was so well done. The fact that they spent a year and a half prior to making it to making sure that they get the sign language correct was awesome. Like, I love that behind the scenes stuff. Like, they really put their heart and soul into making sure that this adaptation was accurate and really like presenting it in the way that it did. I'm fully caught up on the manga, so I thought the adaptation, outside of like the B couple ending, I thought it was like a near perfect adaptation. I absolutely loved A Sign of Affection. Your winner with 31.2% of the vote was A Sign of Affection. Woo! And my winner, I waited fucking 12 years for this. It's Kimini Todoke season 3.
Nice.
Ain't no way it's not Kimini Todoke. I waited 12 years for this. I've rewatched Kimini Todoke like 3 times. I even read the manga because I never assumed it was going to get a season. And then was it 3 days after I finished the manga, season 3 got announced. So you're welcome to everybody. I was the one who manifested that, but I love this season. Sort of the stuff at the end with like sort of the other couples like getting together was great. Like the karaoke scene in the last episode was fantastic. The Okinawa stuff was really good. I did not like Kazehaya at all this season. I think it was, for as much of a green flag that he's kind of stupid and dumb and mean. And it was kind of, they figured it out towards the end, but like this season made me really frustrated with him. But everybody else was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed Kimi ni Todoke season 3. It was in my top 10 this year. So, your guys' thoughts on the best romance winners?
Yeah, being a green flag is a bit of a red flag in my opinion. So I get it. You know, uh, yeah, I'm excited to Sign of Affection 1. One, I love that we get like a shoujo romance winning it, and two, I'm glad Danger's in My Heart didn't win.
It did get runner up though.
Yeah.
Whatever. Second place is for losers.
Damn, the Anna army won, and I just see, I went with my heart, and look what happened.
From my understanding, unfortunately, and don't tell anyone I said this. I would never say this recorded. The whole confession arc and stuff in Dangers of My Heart was like pretty good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
I think people thinking it's like the best rom-com in the last 10 years is asinine. Like, I think it's insane. I think it's season 2 is significantly better than season 1, but I don't understand like why it's like an 8.7 on Mal. Like, I legit just think it's solid.
It's because Anna slaps.
Anna does slap. Yeah, I love my snack queen. Like, don't get me wrong, she is fantastic. But like, there's I picture it more of just like kind of just like figuring each other out, and like the romance element sort of comes second. And even then, I don't think the coming of age is all that well. Like, I think there are better shows that do this better. So, hey, whatever, to each their own. It's not like it's Arima winning community runner up or something. Like, it's a show that I enjoy. Let's move on to the second best genre of our awards, and that's best slice of life. Your nominations were Laid Back Camp Season 3, Pokemon Concierge, Love Live Superstar Season 3, Kita Koinu Mushroom Pup, How I Attended an All Guys Mixer, and Natsume's Book of Friends Season 7. Miles, you're Natsume's biggest friend. What we got?
I have no idea, dude. Okay. Complete transparency here. I've seen one of these shows. That show has 4 episodes. And technically came out in 2023.
Correct. But I made the executive decision to allow it.
I am not the world's biggest slice of life fan. My favorite slice of life show, you can see I have the production sketches from it. It is Higurashi When They Cry.
Nice.
First 3 episodes or so. You could like maybe make an argument or slice of life if you ignore a bunch of context.
Or if you take slice of life differently.
Yeah, different. I just didn't want to make that joke because it
was too easy. It was too easy.
I'm sorry. No, it's okay. You did it, which is fine. I just couldn't do it. These are shows. I'm just thinking of our demographics. I'm gonna put Laid Back Camp as the winner. Why, you ask? Because people like Laid Back Camp, especially Pete.
I do.
Has a large.
There's my Nadeshko right there.
Has a large following for whatever reason in this community that he has curated himself for a podcast that he hosts. Not really sure why, but he seems to be a central figure here. So we get a lot of fans, but there's been
was that a shot at me? Like, I don't even know what you were trying to say.
I mean, it was like a joking shot at you.
Okay,
I was just
I was like, where's this going?
I was just like, why are there Pete fans in Pete's podcast? Like, that was the joke.
Oh, okay.
But there is a side effect, Pete, to the people you've brought in, right? It's not all laid back and campy, right? It is sometimes dark. And there is a community so vile, so disdained, we dare not speak their name. That's the community of Love Live. The idol people. They've slowly
shout to Tyler and Henry and Eagle.
This is what I'm saying. They've slowly infiltrated our Discord in order to advance the agenda of the horse idol show. It has slowly happened. And sure, did I have Girls Band Cry as like my second favorite anime this year? Maybe. Am I loving Ave Musica right now? Rumor. Just a rumor.
Irrelevant. I have it at 10, but it's irrelevant.
And I'll give it a 10, no matter what happens. But because these people have been coming in, and because it has an addicting gacha game attached to it, I'm going to guess Love Live Superstar Season 3 for the runner-up, because I have no idea. My guesses on quality would be something like All Guys Mixer, because I know people loved that. But I think the name recognition and the idle people just waiting in the corners, idling, some might say, to vote for Love Live Superstar Season 3. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. I know people love Laid Back Camp, but I also know that not a lot of people are Slice of Life fans. And when there's Pokemon on the table,
It's a
people
good
are
point. Yeah.
people are basic, and they grew up with Pokemon like I did when I was 10 years old. And it's a few episodes. People could have just dived into it really quickly. So I would normally pick Laid Back Camp as number 1, but since Pokemon is on the table, and I know if someone who didn't watch Slice of Life and they're like, "Oh, Pokemon," they might just be like, "Woo,
Wow.
Pokemon! Pokemon! I've got Charmander."
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
There's an Umbreon.
I got nothing.
Oh, Bulbasaur! I forgot Bulbasaur. Anyways, I'm gonna go with my head and say Pokemon number 1, Laid Back Camp number 2. Yay!
So Cosette hit the nail on the head with people not liking Slice of Life. Our runner up for Slice of Life was No Vote, but we don't do that here. We don't do that here. We're announcing a winner.
Okay.
The runner up to the runner up gets the runner up. So
spiteful.
Wait, did Cosette do a runner up yet?
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Laid Back Camp was number 2.
Oh, cool. Oh, sorry. I was laughing at what I knew Pete was going to say.
Yeah. 22.9% of the people are missing out on quality entertainment. That is a knock on you, not the genre. So with 15.6% of the vote, our community runner-up was Laid Back Camp Season 3, which was also my runner-up.
Nice.
Even though there was a new studio, and yeah, I know Cosette is shocked. It is my runner-up. Don't get me wrong, I loved Laid Back. I gave the show a 10. I love Laid Back Camp.
Oh, then I think I know what number 1 is then.
We'll find out here in a second.
It's got to be Mushroom Pup. It's got to be.
Let's get to our community winner with 33% of the vote was Pokemon Concierge. You were
Little did I know that I would be one of the however many votes Slice of Life got. Okay.
It still got 109 votes. Just unfortunately, let me see. It was 25 were no votes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. My winner for Slice of Life was Mushroom Pup. I loved Keto Koinu. Loved it. I think it is vastly underrated. I thought the Iashiki elements of mourning the loss of a pet, even though I've never owned a pet, hit me. It was so good. And then
I'm never watching that.
No.
Oh.
But
not once.
Kino Koinu and Plum, like those two were just so much fun. I looked forward to their mischievous whatever they were doing that episode was just so much fun. The only downfall to Kino Koinu is that Snail Senpai wasn't actually real. If they made him real, this show would be like a top 10 show of all time. But I loved Mushroom Pup. I loved everything it did. The OPs were like super fun. The characters were a blast. And yeah, I think it just like it did a better job at doing slice of life. Just a little bit better than Laid Back Camp this year. So guys, what are your thoughts on the winners and runner-up for Slice of Life?
Yeah, I should have seen that coming. The Pokemon thing. I should have been like, oh, I watched one of these and known that there are other people like me out there who also just watched the Pokemon show, which was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good little unique piece of Pokemon media that wasn't focused on like the battles or anything like that, right? It's like what it would be like to live in a cool world with a lot of little creatures. So I think it's an absolute deserving winner. I'm sad All Guys Mixer didn't get any sort of representation here because I haven't seen it, but the community that we're in just seems to like really love it, and like at some point I will watch it.
It's so good.
And yeah, and like so I guess it's just a little sad that it didn't get in. Cosette, what are your thoughts?
Hell yeah, Pokemon. I'm really glad that it came number top. I think it's just it's nice that it's a different kind of animation. It's stop motion, and that's different than most of the nominations right now. I like that it's slice of life. I would love more Pokemon slice of life shows because I really don't care about the battle element. To be quite
We're getting
honest,
season 2.
Yep, we're good.
yay! I just want cute Pokemon animation stuff. Like the Pokemon account on TikTok posts cute slice of life stuff all the time with Pokemon, and it's adorable, and I want more. I'm really surprised that No Vote was number 2, but I'm also not surprised because I kind of had that gut feeling because that slice of life is for some reason the genre that most people don't watch. People should open their horizons.
They should.
Take a shot, especially with Mixer. Mixer is pretty much a rom com, so give it a shot because it's really, 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 really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you ever
Yeah.
experienced just like chilling in college, that's what All Guys Mixer is. It's a really wonderful show. So, Miles,
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm impressed with people for saying no vote. When I'm filling out things like this, I'll just pick something like kind of vibes based.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? If people had like not seen any of this and they were like, you know what, no vote, good for them. I
Yep.
appreciate that.
Yep, and that's the whole point. If you don't have you don't have a strong feeling, don't vote. That's what it's for.
Yeah. Because like I would have just voted, just picked something. I would have had an agenda.
Yeah, 100%.
I would have voted against ReZero somehow in the slice of life category.
Have a write in vote, and people would just write free run. So
True.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. All right, we are halfway done with our anime awards. We are moving on to best comedy. This is super this is super suggestive. Oh my god, this is super. Fuck it. It's funny.
Sound the words, down the letters.
Oh,
It is a subjective way.
Thank you.
To look at something,
Jesus,
or
dude,
how to pronounce that word.
My brain just like exe stopped working. Okay. Thank you, Miles, for saying the word. Okay. Our nominations, at least hopefully I can say the 6 nominations. Our nominations are The Magical Girl and Evil Lieutenant used to be arch enemies. I said that wrong. It's arch enemies. Dandadan, Too Many Losing Heroines, How I Attended an All Guys Mixer, Delicious in Dungeon, and Konosuba. Season 3. Miles, take it away.
Whew, always a tough one. Comedy is hard because 1, it's very suggestive.
Suggestive,
and
thank
2,
you.
yes, of course, especially Konosuba season 3. And Lemon from Heroines. But also because there's a lot of good shows here, right? You have Konosuba, it's on its 3rd season. It's a staple. It's also primarily a comedy. As opposed to something like Dungeon Meshi, which is funny at lots of parts and has a lot of what I would consider like chuckle moments where you're like, huh, I enjoyed that. That was funny. But nothing that's like gut busting laughing, at least in my opinion. But it's a better show in my opinion, like sort of like constructively than a lot of these things. Like Dan to Dan, the first thing I think of isn't comedy. Like that's sort of my idea here. So deciding how people would vote, right? Are they taking a show that's like a rom-com like Machine and being like, oh, this was really funny? Even though I like Dan to Dan more, I thought as far as embodying comedy goes, Machine was better or Konosuba was better or whatever. Or are they just picking their favorite show in this category? So that's sort of where my internal struggle is here. I was just saying that I'm not the type of guy who would ever fill in the no opinion thing because I'll have an opinion, right? I'll read about 5 shows I've never seen and I'll all of a sudden like one of them and not like one of them and then cheer against things. I'm very agenda based. It's a very healthy thing for me to do. But I think people are going to be voting for their favorite shows. At least in the main part. The only thing that throws a wrench in me is I know how much the anime community, myself included, loves Konosuba, which is, I mean, people really liked it, but there's also people who don't like Konosuba. And so, I don't know. I'm going to say Dan to Dan 1. I don't think it is the best comedy on this list, but I think it is by far the show that has the most. I have seen this show. I know what the show is. I enjoyed this show. It is airing now. This has been my strategy for a while, but Fryren isn't here to beat it. So, fingers crossed. Then for runner up, I'm going to go with. I'm torn between 2. I'm going to go with Konosuba. It is a comedy staple in anime. I know that it's a beloved franchise. It has a lot of very funny moments. The entire cast is hilarious. I'm going to shout out Preston, the Discord's biggest Konosuba fan. He's a big fan of the series, specifically Aqua and Kazuma. Those are his favorite characters. But I do think that maybe the comedy aspect will sort of bump it there, but I just don't know if it could beat Dananan. I could also see Too Many Losing Heroines getting there. I thought it was really funny. I did not like it, but I thought it was funny. Anna is hilarious. The maraca scene where she's just like deadpan shaking the maracas is very mood. Like, I get you, Anna. I understand. Evil Lieutenant was also really funny, but I'll talk about that more in an upcoming category.
Okay.
But those are my thoughts. Cosette, what are we thinking?
It's hard because comedy is subjective, and I feel like the shows that I find funny and not funny is sometimes different than the majority of the community. Like, I don't get Konosuba. I don't get it. But I'm glad you guys enjoy it. It's fine. You make a good point about Denadan, Miles. It is goofy. As soon as like Gigi comes in, it gets even funnier. And that's very recent. So that would be recency bias for a lot of people. Magical Girl is one that I probably would have put runner up because I laughed so much with that show. But the show that I laughed the most with was Delicious in Dungeon. That's going to be my heart. And I'm going to just say it as number 1. Number 2 is hard because Makane was fun, but all you damn Konosuba fans are insane. So I'm going to say Konosuba number 2. I'm going to say Konosuba number 2 because I see it everywhere. I see it on my Twitter feed. Like, people love Konosuba. It was all over Anime Expo. People freaking loved it. So I'm going to say Konosuba number 2, Delicious in Dungeon number 1. Oh no, you're going to pull out Aqua or some shit.
All right. For the Konosuba fans out there, hey, what's up? Shout out to my girls.
What do you have, Miles?
The light novels.
Well, I got my Delicious in Dungeon over here, so there you go.
All right, so let's get to our winners from the most subtextual category. Our runner-up with 25.7% of the votes went to Don.
Damn it.
And my runner-up was Delicious in Dungeon. I think, like Miles, you said best, it's more like giggles, but it's more just like how they set up the jokes. I thought were like great. Like the frog suit scene, how that was set up was like, where is this going? And then you see them all, it's like in onesie frog suits. It's just like,
yeah,
that's just like, bro, that's so well done. And then you have
a lot of good comedy there with like when they switch bodies and so there's a lot of good, like, I don't know how to describe it, like outfit comedy.
Yeah,
100%. Now that I think about it, yeah.
And there's stuff that's like, I don't know, like when like Senshi grows stuff on like golems' backs. Like, I think that's funny. Like, maybe I'm not like gut laughing, but like I'm like that makes a lot of sense. That's fun. Like, a lot of good times with Delicious in Dungeon, and sort of just like their dialogue is funny. The siren scene where Leos is singing is just like great. Like, there's so many moments that just stick out to me with Delicious in Dungeon that make it what it was. And no surprise, that is our winner with 29.4% of the votes. Delicious in Dungeon. My winner, Konosuba season 3. I think it was the funniest season so far. I think it was on par with the movie with how much I laughed. I love my lovable idiots. I think they're all just dumb morons, but they're my dumb morons, and they just do stupid stuff all the time, and I have a great time with it. And that's all I'm looking for with Konosuba. So those are winners. Delicious in Dungeons and Don. Guys, your thoughts on best comedy?
Yeah, I'm glad Delicious in Dungeon won. I do like the show. I guess I don't know. It missed me with the comedy bit, but I think it's to its credit, right? Like, if this is a large element of it and that didn't super resonate with me and I still enjoyed the show, I think it shows how multifaceted it is, right?
Yep.
There's a lot more to the show than just the comedy. Where something like Konosuba, where if you're not hitting on the comedy, there's less there to enjoy. Though I will say, and this is an insane thing I'm going to say, but the big thing for me for Konosuba is like, it's not even the comedy. I find, this is going to sound so stupid, I find it very wholesome.
This season was super wholesome.
And I found it wholesome since the beginning. I think I just sort of view it as like a group of misfits who are allowed to be themselves with each other and like find community that way. And like they do bully and like pick on each other and stuff, but like so do all of my friends and myself. So like I just sort of find it heartwarming in that way, in like an incredibly toxic way.
Yep.
Is where I derive value from Konosuba. Kuza, what are your thoughts?
I mean, Pete, you already summarized like all the funny scenes in Delicious Dungeon. It was just so much fun, and like the gags, but also like there's so many different personalities to like just keep building up on the comedy. So I'm really glad it's number one. Dan to Dan, it was goofy. Did I laugh? Not as much as Magical Girl. So, sure, great job, Dan to Dan.
Yeah, it's something like Donna. Like even I mean, like I love like fart jokes and toilet humor, and just like, oh, he lost his balls. It's like, yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I didn't think it was like super funny or like anything.
Yeah.
I think Miles, you mentioned like the play on words with like the golden balls and meaning like the kanji
Yeah.
actually meant like testicles or something.
Yeah, Kintama is gold ball and means testicles.
Yeah, that's funnier than some of the stuff in the show. Like,
that is in the show.
No,
but
I mean,
it doesn't
but,
translate super well.
Yeah, it doesn't translate, but it's like when you find that stuff out, it's like, oh, that is really funny. I wish that was like, you know, sometimes you do like the little notes in like the corner. I was like, I wish that if they did that, I'd be like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. That's
means plan.
I do think I would put Donna more as like silly than like funny, but I had a good, goofy, whatever. All those things really lined up well with Donna, but I'm fine with it getting runner up. I'm just glad it didn't win. I'm glad Delicious and Donna got the dub. Big fan of that show. So moving on to a fun category, new for this year, and that is our biggest surprise. There's a bunch of different elements that went into why these 6 shows were nominated, and those nominations were Wisteria, Wand and Sword, Too Many Losing Heroines, Windbreaker, Girls Band Cry, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, and Bravern. Miles, why don't you take it away and give us your thoughts on biggest surprise?
Yeah, a stacked category. You know, there's a lot of good stuff here. For me personally, my biggest surprise, based on what I normally enjoy, was Wisteria. That's normally not exactly my cup of tea, but I liked it quite a bit. I think that it was just a nice palate cleansing show that did its job pretty well and had interesting, though tropey characters. It had good Sakuga. I thought the world was interesting enough. I thought there was enough danger and stuff for me to be interested. We have our overpowered main character, but he didn't just mow through everything. He like got beat up on the way. And you know, that's sort of stuff I like to see. My favorite show on this list is Girls Band Cry. And that is going to be my pick for the community vote. For the winner. We all love Girls Band Cry here. It's super good. Second place becomes hard for me. There's a couple of options, and by a couple, I mean 2, thus the definition of a couple. Again, it would probably be Too Many Losing Heroines. This is a show that really made an impact in like social media with reaction memes, and people were excited to talk about it. And it's like, oh, who's the new losing heroine going to be? Are we going to like her? What's she going to do with maracas?
It all comes back to those damn maracas.
Yeah, her name's Lemon, so it doesn't matter what they do with her as a character. I'll like her anyway. Everyone in this Discord.
True.
But then there's also Bravern, right? Which I think people might have viewed as a bigger surprise, though less reach than Too Many Losing Heroines, but also has, again, a niche here in our community. It is a popular show. We've watched it for Watch Club, so people who are, you know, viewing us are potentially going to be exposed to it. So I'm going to say Girls Band Cry is the community winner, and then I'm going to say Bravern is the runner-up. And I'm not super confident in that, but I am going with my heart, like Bravern would want me to.
Nice.
Oh, damn. This was hard. Number 1 was easy for me. It was Girls Band Cry. That was like the biggest surprise for me. And I think the community suddenly noticed it so quickly as soon as it got premiered. So in my head, in my heart, I think Girls Band Cry is definitely number 1. The runner-up is hard because Wisteria was a big surprise because it's very like Harry Potter-ish. And like we just had Mashal season 2 like a few months before it. But it was a surprise because it was actually pretty good. And the main character, although OP, he had some flaws in him, but he also wasn't weak and meek. He was awesome. But then Bravern came out of nowhere with all you devoted fans. But then Heroines came out with like there was a lot more depth to the show. Like to me, that was the biggest surprise to me because there was a lot more depth to the show. It wasn't just as goofy. It was actually really sweet, and there was some depth and like some really good relationship discussions about it. But I just don't think people are going to pick that. So I'm going to go with Astoria as number 2.
Right on. Okay, let's get to our winners. Our community runner-up with 23.9% of the vote was Bravern. Miles got one. Mine, this is purely based off of expectations versus result. And that is the wrong way to use healing magic. I thought I was going to drop this show after one episode. It looks generic as shit. I thought it was going to be super boring about this self-insert male MC who was weak before and then now he's super strong. And it really wasn't that. Like, it wasn't that at all. Yeah, he's OP, but it's like in a different way. It's not like he is the guy on the battlefield slaying the dragon. He's the guy healing the guy who slayed the dragon. I was like, that's a cool concept. I like that. And then Rose. Rose is the GOAT. One of my favorite characters of the year in general. I can't wait to get more Rose. She was incredible. I love her. I love her design. I love everything that she did in the show. She was great. Our winner with 26.6% of the vote went to Girls Band Cry.
Oh, that was close, huh?
3 votes. Yeah. It was a 3-vote separation. Mine was Windbreaker.
Ooh.
The more I think about it, the more I like Windbreaker. I don't like shonen meathead shit. Like, I think, like, if I were to watch Baki, if I were to watch Kengan Ashura, I would probably drop it an episode. Windbreaker is the same shit. It is just fights all the time. They're literally, their high school is devoted to protecting the neighborhood and they just get in fights with people. That's all it is. And yet I loved it. It was so much fun. Every week it was like the first show that I watched that day. Every episode felt like I was watching it for like 10 minutes. And I think that's a sign of a good show to me, at least, is if it goes by in a blink of an eye. And Windbreaker was just great. Like, just so much fun. So I had to give it to Windbreaker. Something like Girls Band Cry is like a show where like I already expected to like it. Where like when we did like Uma Musume season 1, I was like the only one that liked it. So like I'm probably gonna like Girls Band Cry. And then was I surprised by how much I liked it? Absolutely. But it wasn't to the levels of like those two shows. So that's kind of my reasoning behind why I picked those two. But guys, your thoughts on biggest surprise?
Really happy that Bravern can get a nod here. It's a really good show. I know that we have a bunch of people who are going to be excited about its runner-up. Same with Girls Band Cry winning this, though I think that's more expected. Girls Band Cry, though it did sort of start slow, not getting picked up, has really gained steam.
Oh yeah.
Since then, right? Like, it's become like a big thing. Like, they're getting what's that Weiss Schwartz set? And that's how you know you've made it as an anime.
When you get a card game, yeah, or a card set.
Am I already pre-ordering the Weiss Schwartz Ave Musica set? I'm not telling.
How mortis of you.
And so I don't know. I'm excited. I think all of these shows are pretty deserving. A shout out to The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. Like, again, I have some friends who are not super duper into anime and actually watched that and enjoyed that, which I think changed how they view anime a bit, right? So they viewed it a little differently from the typical action shows they were watching. So that's probably a surprise for them too. So shout out to all these shows except for Too Many Losing Heroines. Cosette, what are your thoughts?
Too many losing heroines. Anyways, Girls Band Cry, I think it's the biggest surprise because it's that animation style that like people are like 50-50 on. They're like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't think I'll like that. And then they meet Nina and they're like, oh shit.
Oh,
she's awesome. So I'm not surprised with Girls Band Cry. Bravern, I guess I need to watch it.
Yes.
I wasn't on my radar. Secret Santa, shout out. During the summer, you can give me Bravern. But yeah, I'm not surprised about Girls Band Cry. I think it was the biggest surprise across the board, even on Twitter. Like, as soon as it premiered, people were like, oh shit, why isn't anybody licensing this? Why isn't nobody streaming this? So I'm not surprised with Girls Band Cry at all.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. All right. Well, with every surprise, we have to have a disappointment. Moving on to our biggest disappointment of the year. Our nominations were Tower of God Season 2, Blue Lock Season 2, My Dear Friend Nokotan, the Isekai Suicide Squad, Ninja Kamui, and Metallic Rouge. Miles, I know one of your favorite shows is on this list. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah. Shout out to Blue Lock season 2. I will forever love the fascist soccer show, regardless of what it does. We forgot a couple of shows here.
100%.
I think it's important to note. We forgot Umazaki. And then we also forgot me. I'm losing 9-15 currently because that is kicking my ass in this game. I am a disappointment.
Well, you are a fake anime fan, so it checks out.
So true. How long am I allowed to keep that bit on? It's been like 4 years.
Until I quit, I guess.
Okay, cool. It's like, okay, I've just finished my 400th anime. Fake fan, though. I'm not really into this. So, for me, the biggest disappointment was Tower of God Season 2. It was something I was looking forward to. It's something I didn't even watch because basically everyone told me that it was a waste of time and awful. So, it's something that I might have to get through at some point if a Season 3 that isn't bad comes out. As for the community, I think Nokatan is going to take the lead. The reason that didn't win for me is because I have eyes and knew that show would be bad. And it looked bad. And it was
You're so
clearly just
smart, Miles.
No, I was just talking about how bad I was. And even someone like me who
You can be
should have
smart
been
and bad.
nominated, fair enough. When you see a trailer and they put all the funny moments in the trailer, that was Nokatan, and it really gave me those vibes early on. So I was wary of it. But I do think that'll win for the community because for whatever godforsaken reason, that was really, really hyped. And it was like more disappointing in a way that it sucks. And it doesn't even like at all it's not like, oh, this was a bad continuation, but like maybe we needed to go through it to get to A to B, or oh, the animation wasn't good. The entire show is bad. The whole thing's bad. People don't remember Metallic Rouge, which is why this wouldn't be doing. And I also don't think people were expecting anything from a DC anime project. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know. For runner-up, I'm going to go with Tower of God Season 2 for the community. That was, my biggest one. I think this was something that people really liked. I think Blue Lock has enough stands, maybe not in our voting pool, and maybe I should like add that to the calculus, but like in the general populace that it legit doesn't matter that like it was a slideshow. Like people do not care.
Yep.
Like people do care, but also not other people don't care. It's when you're just like too far down the rabbit hole and you're like, this is good no matter what. That's my thought there. So I'm going to go with Nokatan winner, runner-up Tower of God Season 2. Cosette, what are our thoughts here?
I feel like Nokatan didn't disappoint me because I just had a feeling the comedy of it I wasn't going to like anyway.
Because you have eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing with Metallic Rouge is that it had so much elements of what would make a good anime, like just before it premiered. Like the artwork looked amazing. When the OP got released, everyone was like hyping about it. I think the voice cast looked pretty awesome. It was an anniversary show, so we thought like they were putting their guns into this. So I feel like a lot of people put their eggs in this basket, and then they were just super disappointed, including myself. With Blue Lock, I just saw so much like outrage on Twitter of like how bad the animation was, but like Blue Lock fans are very devout, and so like you said, like they'll still watch it regardless. And then I feel like if Uzumaki was on this list, it would be number 1, but we're not there. So I'm going to say Metallic Rouge for number 1. Tower of God is hard because I know a lot of people love the manhwa.
Yep.
Webtoon.
It's
Anyways,
it's
a lot
both.
of it. Yeah, sure. I don't know the terms. I'm a fake manga fan.
Korean webtoon.
Okay.
Fuck it.
There we go. Yeah.
No, Solo Leveling is a manhwa, so is Tower of God, right? Like 100%.
I don't know. They're both on the Webtoon app. I don't know.
Yeah,
they're both comics. There we go.
yeah. Let us know in the comments.
So I feel like Metallic Rouge is number 1. It's between Blue Lock and Tower of God for me, but I feel like there's more Tower of God fans because people have been waiting for the next season for how long? So I'm going to say Tower of God runner-up and Metallic Rouge number 1.
Okay, let's get to our winners. With 18.3% of the vote, the community runner-up was Metallic Rouge, which was also my runner-up. The fact that it was Bones' 25th anniversary project This is an original, so you had all the time in the world to create a source material to be what you want it to be, and this is what you came up with. I dropped it after 2 episodes. I thought it was terrible, which sucked because the OP was so good. It was like just missed the cut for our best OPs. If we had 7 nominations, it was number 7. I really like that OP, but the show was just terrible and had everything going for it, which to make it good. And it was just really, really bad. The community winner with 30.3% of the vote went to my dear friend Nokotan. And my winner was Tower of God Season 2. Couple reasons. 1, the pacing was ass. So ass. Number 2, they used the same soundtrack from Season 1. It's been 4 years. Kevin Penkin deserves better, and I know he can make... Season 1 Tower of God OST is incredible. It's so good. And the fact that they just copied and pasted it and put it in this season was such a huge disappointment because I wanted new Kevin Penkin music. He did it with Apothecary Diaries. He did it with... What's the New World one?
Spiceable? No.
No.
Oh.
He did Goodbye New World or whatever it was called, right?
Bye World.
Goodbye World. Yeah, that one. He did the OST for that one too. It's like he was making new music for anime properties that he's attached to, and he was attached to this, and it was just the same soundtrack from season 1, which was a huge detriment. And they used the same song like 4 times in 6 episodes, which is preposterous. As someone, I'm not like the biggest OST guy, but I do like a good OST when you use the same song over and over and over and over again. It gets super annoying. So, and I just thought the cast was boring. Like I read the manhwa and I didn't think I thought the cast was like okay when I read the manhwa. I just thought they were like really, really boring. I didn't think the voice actors did anything to elevate any of the characters. So, that was the reason why it was my biggest disappointment. Guys, your thoughts on biggest disappointment?
Just as I suspected for half of it. Yeah, I guess like Metallic Rouge on there sort of makes sense. In my head, it was like it sort of went out in a whimper, right? People just sort of realized it was bad and like moved on, but it does have all of those things that should have made it at least passable, right? And so I definitely get why it's being here. And maybe the fact that I didn't hear about it speaks to how disappointed people were in it, you know? So I think that's good. You know, any, you know, all these were all deserving nominations. Any extra thoughts here, Cosette?
Tower makes sense. Honestly, I think because I binged it right before season 2. So I was expecting the same kind of group as in season 1, and then once we met all these new people, I was like, I don't want these people, bring me back to season 1. So I'm actually not surprised that it is number 1. It was
number 1 for me. Nokotan won from the community.
Oh shit. Well, my memory sucks. Anyways, well, you were right, Pete.
Thank you. You heard that? You heard that, everyone? I was right.
Oh no, this and everything. No. Oh shit. Anyways. Yes, Pete's right. No, Gatan, I'm not like. We all knew it wasn't going to be good. Come on.
Not everyone. Some people thought it was going to be really good.
I'm picking up the manga, so maybe that would made us all think it was going to be good.
I thought it was going to be really good.
I believe in the preview, I told people to watch it on Twitter. It's just like watch clips.
Oh, I forgot that happened this year. It was Kaiju number 8.
Yep. Yeah, debut on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that was
which went horribly.
Yeah. I just meant don't watch the show.
Yeah. That's my thoughts on like, you know how everyone like hypes up like the Ghost Stories dub and how it's so funny.
It's definitely something you should watch a compilation.
I don't think the show is funny at all. I think the compilation of what they show is what you need to watch.
Yeah, it's not a comedy show.
No, the dub is completely different than the actual show.
Yes. Okay. Well, okay, so the story is more or less the same. That was a requirement. However, I've listened to you are correct. You need to just because it's like
that's 2 people that said I was right. Let's go.
No.
Feed my ego.
We've been bought by Big Pete. That's you take bribes.
Yo, can I buy you with Canadian money? Because I have some
Oh,
Canadian money.
Wait, you could probably buy Cosette with that. it's,
Bling bling, baby.
it's
Shout out to
oh
Canadian
goodness.
dollars. They're very pretty. Okay, should we move on? We'll move on to another new category that we had this year was Best Gremlin. So a gremlin can mean a bunch of things. And I know Preston said that he wanted a finite definition of what a gremlin is, and I'm not going to give it to him. Is whatever you think a gremlin is. So our nominations were Nina from Girls Band Cry, Yuki from Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feeling in Russian, Oron from Dead Dead Demons, Mamoru from My Wife Has No Emotion, Ibana from The Evil Lieutenant, and then Lulu from Bravern. Miles, I know you foreshadowed this earlier in the episode. What's your thoughts on Best Gremlin?
So I voted for Hibana. This was very tough for me because Nina and Oron are two of my favorite characters ever. And then I also, you know what? Someone has to be brave enough to say this. I thought Yuki was really funny from Alia.
She was the best character of the show.
Yes, she was, out of a great cast. And
can I do the fart soundboard real quick?
But I think the most pure gremlin energy to me was Hibana. The way that she was animated, the contrast between her pure chaos and her like happy, like Genki magical girl form, like it's just perfect. That being said, Hibana did not win the community vote because that would have required more people to have watched Magical Girl and the Evil Lieutenant than did. And you should. It's short and quick and sweet and fun. I think the lack of Mau Mau here makes this interesting. Because like there was definitely an argument to make that Mau Mau could belong here. But 100%. I think I agree with the decision not to, if only for the sake of diversity.
Hold on. If I can foreshadow real quick, we will be talking about why she's not in a future episode. So stay tuned in like, I don't know, 2 months. And you will find out why she was left off this list.
It might even be more. I would have put a lot of work into that for the memes, honestly.
It will be out eventually.
I'm going to say Nina won the community vote. Nina is my favorite character on this list, and I think she has an insane gremlin energy, just not as much gremlin energy as Hibana. But I think she's from a popular show. She is the face of that show. I think that is a benefit, right? She is a main character, which not all of these characters are. Not all shows can contain a main character gremlin. That's hard to do. And she's great. So I think she's going to win, and deservedly so. For runner-up, this is hard for me. We do have that Bravern section. I don't think Lulu is super gremlin-y. She is more of like a Muppet. And we can talk about what that means later, because I'm not quite sure yet. But that was just the first word that came to mind for Lulu. I'm going to say we could have had Anna in here. There's a lot of... This is a tough category. It's hard to make.
There's a lot of gremlins this year.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay. You know what? I'm going to say... Oh, God, I love Oron so much. I'm going to say Hibana. I know people watched it. I know Hibana was really popular. I think the introduction of Hibana was a big turning point for a lot of people's enjoyment of Magical Girl and the Evil Lieutenant, where they went from enjoying it or not really vibing with it to very much enjoying it. I think she was really good for that chemistry. And so even though it's a smaller pool of people who have watched it, I think her impact is enough to take that pool of people and go to a second place. Those are my thoughts. Cosette, What are we thinking?
This was tough because I didn't watch Alia, and I'm glad I didn't. But I also didn't watch Bravern, which I regretfully didn't watch Bravern.
Alia's secretly good, I promise.
It's not.
I listened to the review episodes, Miles.
Yeah, where I said it was good.
That's where she shut it off.
I love Hibana. She was so freaking funny. But the fact that I just don't think a lot of people watch the show. So in my heart, it would be Hibana at number 1. But I'm going to say Oron at number 1. Because Oron was my favorite character in Dead Dead Demons. She was incredible. She was funny. She was fantastic, and I loved her. She was also had a lot of heart. So
Yeah, she's a
I'm-
communist, and I appreciate that.
um, so I'm gonna go Aura number 1, and then I gotta go with Nina number 2. Let's change it up since Miles, you put her for number 1. So let's change it up. Let's have some competitiveness here. So I'll say Aura number 1, Nina number 2.
Okay, let's get to our winners. With 19.3% of the vote, our community runner-up went to Oron from Dead Demons. My runner-up was Nina. She's actually the reason why I started this category. She was just a full force gremlin when she was on my screen, and I love the energy that she brought with it. The winner with 24.8% of the vote went to Nina from Girls Band Cry. Yes, deservedly so. Mine winner was Oron. The difference between someone who drools a lot and somebody who swears and flicks people off is very tough. When you're a gremlin, those are two top tier characteristics. But I think I'm more of just a fan of the drooliness of Aura. She just radiates gremlin just a little bit more. I think she is like a gremlin more than Nina is. Like consistently a gremlin. I think Nina by herself is just like she's herself and she can be cool. Where Auron, I think, is a gremlin no matter what the circumstances are. So that's kind of what my reasoning was behind picking him. But I think these are two juggernauts in the gremlin column, and we will be talking about it more in a future episode. So, guys, your thoughts on best gremlin?
I'm so happy Oron got on the board there. I love Oron. I didn't vote for her for best gremlin because I think Hibana is like my gremlin, but Oron is my favorite character in this list. The Demons was so good. I loved her so much. So shout out to our community for getting her into that second place. Nina winning, I'm not surprised, and I'm happy that I'm not surprised. Nina is wonderful and the best, and she deserves everything that she gets in life. Which is a broken lamp from her friend. It's about what she receives from the show. Any follow-up thoughts here, Cosette?
Damn, I should have flipped it. No, in my heart, Oron's still number 1 gremlin, so it's fine. I love Nina too. Oron's number 1 for me, so. But I'm not surprised that Nina got up there. And I'm glad they're both at top 2 anyway, so.
Very tough category. I hope to see some more gremlin energy in 2025. Moving on to our best ship. These are non-canon couples that were radiating energy in their shows. Our nominations were Otarud and Momo from Dandadan, Fushi and Asagi from All Guys Mixer. There we go. Mao Mao and Jinchi from The Apothecary Diaries. Nina and Momika from Girls Band Cry. Marcel and Fallon from Delicious in Dungeon, and then we had the Evil Lieutenant and Bakia from the Evil Lieutenant. So these are our nominations for best ship. Miles, take it away.
This is hard for me because Mao Mao and Jinchi is a bad ship, and I will die on this hill. Mao Mao is in love with science and not some pretty boy wannabe emperor guy. I'm afraid that this is going to place. I know this was a close category.
It was separated by 1 vote for the
This
winner.
is disappointing to me. I understand Mao Mao. Look, you see Mao Mao's name on a category you can vote for. I get it. You want to click that button. In contrast with what I said earlier, you got to think through these things. You have to really consider them, you know? There's the I don't care button that you could press instead of pressing the Mao Mao and Jinchi button. Consider that. I'm ashamed to say my wife voted for Mao Mao and Jinchi. I know that. So they got at least 1 vote. I voted for Nina and Momika. I really enjoyed their dynamic. I did have a friend ask me why Dandadan wasn't nominated for Best Romance. And that makes me think that maybe Momo and could do better than I would think. Though not a huge anime watcher, so I did explain the concept of like it's going to be 1 billion volumes before anything happens, and then the series will end.
Yep.
As is tradition in these long form action shonens, but this is tough for me. I you know what? As a betting man, Pete, are you a hedging kind of guy? Do you like hedging?
Yeah, you should hedge when you can.
Okay, I'm going to hedge. I would like points if I'm going to be disappointed in everyone. So I'm going to put Mao Mao and Jinchi as the winner. And then I'm going to use the popularity decision. Though Marcel and Fallon is like really popular on certain parts of the internet, and maybe that'll get there. I'm still going to say Momo and Ken from Dan to Dan because that is a popular show and people like them. And again, someone asked me why that wasn't in Best Romance. So that's one vote for him,
Okay.
I would assume. Cosette, what are our thoughts?
This was a tough vote because I think all the ships have such great chemistry, and that's where I would try to do the math and figure it out. I do agree with you about Mao Mao. She does love science, and she's probably on the A spectrum. However, she has really good chemistry with Jinji, and it's very cute and adorable. Momo and Okaroon, it's honestly just recency bias. They're so cute. Like they had such great chemistry from episode 1. Marcel and Fallon, we had a few episodes with them. We all hinted at their ship. There wasn't a lot of it though. So I might have to copy. No, I'm not going to copy. Well, okay. It's Mao Mao. Let's put her at number 1 with Jinshi. And then because of the Dan 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 hype, it's definitely Okaroon and Momo second.
All right. Yeah. Let's get to our winners. Community runner-up with 26.6% of the vote went to Marcel and Fallon.
I could have. I considered it because of how popular that is online. Like it's just so popular. Exciting.
Yes. And my reasoning behind my shipping is just the most fun I had when they were on screen with those two characters. So my runner-up went to Nina and Momoka. I really like their dynamic. And also especially that Nina said in one of the episodes, this is me confessing my love to you. However you want to interpret that is up to you. But I think it's a very easy way to ship these two. So
okay, Bandai.
Yeah, right. So that was my little bit of my reasoning behind it, and I just really enjoyed those two as a whole. The winner, beating them by 1 vote, Miles, you should have went with your friend Momo and Otaroon, 27.5% of the vote. And mine was Fuji and Asaki from All Guide Mixer. They were so much fun. The most fun of an on-screen non-couple this year, and it's not even close. I love the stoic seriousness of Fuji and then the golden retriever that Asagi is. Like they're so different, but they meshed together so well. They had so much fun together. I can't wait for them to be an actual canon couple, hopefully, down the road. But just them having fun, being in college and just sort of living their life was just like a refreshing take on just like a guy-girl friendship. So, or possible romance type of thing. So, big fan of those two, but I mean, this is a tightly contested race. Mamo and Jinchi was 3rd, actually. So they missed out by 7 votes. So I think a lot of people were on your side, Miles, where they're not really shipping the two, but the ship is there. Like it's there for most people. Even in the most recent episode, when Mama was thinking of an attractive guy, her first thought was Jinchi. So I think it's there. But
he's hot.
I mean, he is super hot. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
maybe one day she'll realize it. So, guys, your thoughts on best ship?
I want to shout out to the community. I'm very proud of you guys. This is great. As I've said before, I didn't really pick up on the Marcel and Fallon thing from what I saw in the anime, but like I don't know if we get more. We probably do get more of them in the manga. I would have to guess that it's, I don't know, it exists somehow. But I do like both the characters, so I'm happy enough about that. And I do think Okaroon and Momo are good, though the incorrect couple from that show. But the other one wasn't an option because Pete hates best girls. Or I am needlessly contrarian. It's one of those two things. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm glad that we got that. Shout out to Pete for having Momo and Nina as his runner-up because I love them. Cosette, thoughts?
Failed them. They're right here, and I failed. I'm very disappointed. I failed them. I love them. They're my babies. I'm not surprised. Come on. Recency bias, Okarun and Momo. They're so cute. Sure, why not? Shonen couple. Whatever. I don't know. They had cute chemistry, and I see it. I'm really surprised with Jinji and Mao Mao, but I think people are starting to see that Mao Mao is just Mao Mao. Mao Mao just loves science and drugs and mushrooms and shit. So, yeah, I'm not surprised.
I love one of those things too. Okay, well, we got our non-canon couples. Let's move on to our actual canon couples. And we'll do best couple. Your nominations were Itsumi and Yuki from A Sign of Affection, Anna and Kyu from The Dangers of My Heart, Sawako and Kazahaya from Kimi ni Todoke Season 3, Rin and Iji from Pseudo Harem, Rishi and Arnold from Seventh Time Loop, and Jin and Gishi from Twilight Out of Focus. Miles, you're up, my man.
I voted for Rishi and Arnold. The reason behind that was, as I said last time, every relationship needs some suspicion, some worry that the other one is plotting against you to potentially kill you. You can never feel comfortable, and that is what love is. Now, that being said, hey, Kayla, I love you if you're listening to this.
Cute.
I think community is rightfully going to vote for Itsumi and Yuki first. Sign of Affection won Best Romance. It would therefore lead that the couple in that, the primary focus of this romance, would be strong. And I agree with that. As I have said, Itsumi is too hot. Some people probably view this as a positive, and I cannot blame them for that. Yuki is a little great too. She's just so sweet and wonderful. So I think both people in that couple are great. They have good chemistry. Itsumi is, I don't know, people were like telling me it was going to be like a little problematic going in, and like the problematic part is that like he pats her head sometimes, and like I don't know, sure, but in the world we live in, there's a lot more problems than that, I feel like. So that she seems to like it, so I think that's fine. For runner up, you of course have to go between Kimi ni Todoke and Danger of My Heart for these. I do love Pseudo Harem, but I just don't think it has the following to win this sort of contest. And I'm gonna go with Ann and Kyo from Dangers of My Heart. They're popular. People like them. I like half of them, and I think that that's gonna carry them to a silver medal. Cosette.
You brought some good points, and now I'm contemplating my answer. I mean, Yuki and Itsumi, number one for sure. Like they complemented each other so well. It was such a sweet, sweet, sweet romance. He literally was learning sign language for her. Like that's goals right there. Runner up is hard because I had Sawako and Kazehaya, but the Anna army is like creeping me out, and now I wonder if the Anna army is gonna win. Also, Sawako and Kazahaya were not the best couple in Kimi ni Todoke, so okay, because Anna got. Okay, let's do Yuki and Itsumi number one. And I just feel like the Anna army is out for her, so she'll get best couple. Who cares about the other guy? She'll be number
Best
two.
couple with myself.
I like that line of thinking.
Yeah, so Anna number two for sure.
Okay, remember in Slice of Life where No Vote was the runner-up? No Vote was the winner for best couple. Apparently people don't like, they'll vote on best romance but not best couple, which is weird, but you know what?
It is weird.
That is weird.
Whatever. So we're gonna go to the next one. So our runner-ups first with 15.6% of the vote went to Anna and Kyu from The Dangers of My Heart. My runner-up was Rin and Iji. I just thought they were so much fun. Like their dynamic was great. The fact that they get married in the last episode was awesome. It was like full circle to their story. I really didn't expect them to be together in the story, yet alone get married. So that was really cool to see. And just Rin's personality was so bubbly and fun. I loved every personality that she did for EG, and EG was a great like counterpart to her. So I really enjoyed their dynamic. The winner, Miles, you had the right logic with 23.9% of the vote. Itsumi and Yuki from A Sign of Affection. So it matched best romance, the couples from each show. One, and my best couple was also Itsumi and Yuki. I don't think it was close. I thought they were fantastic together, like learning sign language. Like the idea of him being like a polyglot and then sort of being fascinated by like sign language and getting interested in Yuki that way, I thought is a very interesting way to like get to know somebody and develop a relationship with that. And then just their dynamic was super fun. Seeing Yuki, like how she gets excited with like she's not able to express herself with like sound, so she's like very excited with like her movements. So I remember in like episode, I think it was like 2 or 3, where she's like in the snow and she does like the yes thing and she's like jumping up and down and super happy and like waves her by. Like that stuff is just like super adorable and fun, and it just added to their relationship. And and what they got going on the manga is also fantastic. So just everything about them is great. I just really enjoyed what we got on screen with them. So guys, your thoughts on best couple?
Yeah, I guess no surprises from us, I would assume, as we both correctly guessed it. I guess my assumption would be Kimi no Todoki came in third for the community vote. Though
I can tell you it was a tie.
Oh.
Twilight Out of Focus and Kimi no Todoke tied.
Oh, nice. Good job, Twilight Out of Focus. That's hype.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
so
one vote, and then one vote behind them each as well. Riche and Arnold and Rin and EG also tied. So it was a pretty tight race between like 3 through 6.
I voted for Riche and Arnold, and that's like kind of crazy that they were that close. I don't know. They're like married by convenience.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'm down. I like them a lot. Maybe that's just sort of voting for how cool they are independently, sort of like voting for Anna by herself. Yeah, this couple is great when they're by themselves.
Yeah.
That was my logic. But yeah, I think Itsumi and Yuki are great. I'm glad that they won. You know, they weren't my favorite couple this year, but I think that if you were looking for an anime couple to broadcast as a winner, to be representative of like a good anime couple, they're a great choice. You know, I love me some red flags, so of course I'm not gonna go down that way. But you know, I completely get why people did. Goes that any extra thoughts here?
An adult couple won. Yay.
Yay.
Representation. Yeah, I mean, you both said exactly why Yuki and Utsumi are number one. I mean, the Anna army, I get it. Honestly, the confession scene was adorable, and like, I'm shitting on the show, but it was actually really sweet, and I did enjoy it. And I thought that their chemistry was really good. So I understand why the Anna army loves her so much, because she has great chemistry with whatever his name is.
Kyo, yeah.
So I'm not surprised. I'm glad like Anna didn't win number one, because I would have been a little upset. So good job, everybody.
Rightful place at number 2. All right. We're down to our final 3 categories, the most contested, I would say. Best boy, best girl, and anime of the year. Best boy actually has 10 nominations compared to the other ones that have 6, because there's so many good boys this year. So, and every year. So let's get to our nominations. We had Okarun from Dawn to Dawn, Laios from Delicious in Dungeon, Aqua from Oshinoko, Subaru from ReZero, Taikaki from Negative Positive Angler, Yukiya from Yatagarasu, the super hot guy Itsumi from A Sign of Affection, Oxy from Orb, Kafka from Kaiju number 8, and Tokiyuki from The Elusive Samurai. Miles, why don't you take it away for best boy?
Sure. I want to shout out a guy who's not going to win real quick. I want to shout out Kafka, doing it for us older guys. You know, is he? How old is he? 30?
32. I don't know if I'm doing this correctly.
You aren't. You're doing it incorrectly.
Well, it's like you know how like the cameras are flipped, and it's just like
yeah. So yeah, I am 33, as I believe Pete is as well.
Sadly, yes.
Okay. And like Kafka, I get it, man. My back hurts right now, and I've been sitting in a chair.
I have an ab strain. I literally can't.
It is, yeah. My goodness. I thought he was really cool. I liked seeing like a shonen led by someone who wasn't a high schooler, or any anime, frankly, that wasn't led by someone who was a high schooler. Now let me tell you about my favorite high schooler. Um, I voted for Okarun here. I had a lot of fun watching Dan to Dan. And I think he just sort of like gives off that best boy energy that I look for. I feel like you need to be like some percentage golden retriever to win this. At least in my view, which is why someone like Aqua wouldn't get it, right? He's like too brooding. Like I really like him as a character, but just in my head, you need to sort of have this happiness. This is like Laos, I think, has like a good like stake on that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of good options here, but for the community vote, I'm going to go with Okarun as well. I just do think Dan to Dan is really like, if we're not seeing an Apothecary Diaries or a Freerin in these nominations, that is my go-to for the show that's going to win. I think it is good. I think there are reasons it is winning. I think Okarun is a likable guy. There is a scene in I think episode 10 or something after they do all of this stuff to get his balls back, where to save someone, he's like, "Can I give you my balls to like some alien?" And it was just like, "That's nice of you." After all of this happened, I thought that really just sort of showed his spirit. Let's say
The balls on, yeah. Got balls.
yeah, yes. So I thought that was nice. For runner up, always hard for me to figure this out. There's a lot of good options here. As we've mentioned, Itsumi, too hot. ReZero Season 3 seems to have been not performing super well, at least in our circles. I know that it was good. I know that it's a very big mainstream anime.
I thought it was super good. I thought it was like the best version of ReZero we've ever seen.
So, but like, and I know people love it, but it just hasn't really been popping up here.
Sure.
And I think Subaru, though I've heard that he makes some big strides, still carries some baggage from earlier season Subaru. Which is sort of why I would cut him out. For runner-up, I'm going to go with Laos from Delicious Dungeon. Wasn't my favorite boy in the series, but people do like him. I just do wonder if the fact that he isn't, oh my god, I'm blanking on his name, the dwarf.
Senshi,
thank you. Hurts him, and someone like Itsumi is able to like pull out an upset here or something. But I'm going to go with Okarun and Laos.
Okay.
I'm curious if there's a bunch of no votes because Senshi is not on this list.
I will tell you, out of 109 votes, there were 4 no votes.
Okay, so people found somebody. So
Yes.
never mind. That wasn't my guess. I just was curious because
you get extra points if you were like no vote wins, and it did. I would be very impressed by that.
There's a good mix of boys. There's boys and men. I feel like they should have been separated, but whatever.
Best male.
Boys to men?
Oh,
That's
boys to men. Boys to men.
I mean, boys to men would have been the guy from Pseudo Harem because we saw him as a boy and then an adult. So
very true.
Technically. Anyway, Senshi aside, Laos is my golden retriever. He is such a great leader. He's a fun time. He takes care of his people. I would like to think the community would put him number 1, but
is he a boy or a man?
He's a man.
He's a man? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. He's above.
He's either a man or a big boy.
I mean, some people might call him.
He is 26.
Some people might still call 26 big boy, so. Stony. Sorry. Anyways. But Okarun's such a bad. The thing is, for some reason with Okarun, I know he has his alternate side where he turns into the badass, and for some reason in this category, I only see him with like in his non-transformative self. But I feel like people are looking at both. And Dan has been killing it today, so let's do Okarun number 1 and Laos number 2.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, just for me, for best boy. This year, I didn't think had like a slam dunk winner. I thought there was a lot of good options, but something compared to like Thorfinn last year, which I thought was like the easiest pick of my life last year. This one was a little hard. I actually decided today who my best boy was. I was going back and forth between like 6 people because I feel like I can make a case for a couple people. I didn't really have like a standout like I did with best girl. So that's kind of like my thoughts on best boy for this year. So let's get to our winners. Our community runner up with 19.3% of the vote went to Okarun.
Okay.
And my runner up was Laos. Lovable idiot, but also at the same time, heart of gold. Always puts himself like last. I like that quality of like a leader, and just the sense that Delicious in Dungeon set it up with. I thought he was just a really fun character to cheer for, and I was just like a big fan of Lio. So he gets my runner up. Community winner. This was a pretty in terms of like voting. These two got like 45% of the votes.
Wow.
So the winner with 28.4% of the votes was Lyos. Like he got 31 of the 109 votes. So he was pretty commanding winner. My winner, I went with Yukiya from Yatagarasu. I just thought he was the glue for everything that went in that show. He started off as like, working for like the prince, but then sort of being like the right-hand man, and then sort of getting involved with like every single conflict. Just really resonated with me. I thought he was a fantastic character. How he handled situations was great. Sort of how he was trying to piece the puzzles together with like the prince was awesome. I just thought he was just like a insanely solid character to that story. Like I just felt like he held it all together. And for a character who he didn't really like stand out, but like he did everything that I would want in that type of character. And I just really enjoyed him when he was on screen. So I'm gonna give it to Yukiya. Like I just really, really enjoyed him. So guys, your thoughts on Best Boy? You guys both you picked the right two, but you got them in the wrong order.
Yeah, it's the story of my night.
Story of my life.
But yeah, that is, I mean, I think that makes a bunch of sense. I'm excited to see Lyos get it. I really like Danadan. I think I like Danadan more than I like Delicious in Dungeon, but I do like to see some variety in like the winners here. And I feel like Delicious in Dungeon and has been coming in like second a fair amount. And so for it to like get a win feels nice. I also don't know if that's true because
it won Best Comedy and
second in Best Ship.
And second in Best Ship, yep.
Okay, so it's been half and half, but I'm glad to see it get a win, regardless. Thus is a good character, and I think that even though I have the hot take of Delicious in Dungeon would be better without the cooking, and
watch your mouth.
Dungeon and Dungeon, is I do think I think it's fun, but yeah, I can't be upset about these at all.
Yeah, they were close. So, I think we won, Miles. I think
okay, of course.
A moral victory is worth 0 points, by the way.
It is. I have put 0 points into both of our columns.
They were close enough. I think that's something. I think Pete was right, though. Yukiya is Best Boy. I mean, next to Tokiya, though, I think Tokiya is technically like Thorfinn. He kind of went through some trauma. He's just the happier version of Thorfinn. I hope that when we get season 2, more people will watch it because he's actually a really, 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 really good boy character. But anyways, good job, Leos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations to our winners. Let's move on to our best girl. Our nominations were Freerin from Freerin, Mao Mao from the Apothecary Diaries, Momo from Don to Don, Yoshino from Yakuza Fiance, Yuki from Shoshiman series, Akane from Oshino Ko, Anna or Yamada from Dangers in My Heart, Rin from Pseudo Harem, another Anna from Too Many Losing Heroines, and Nina from Girls Band Cry. Miles, let's hear it.
Mao Mao won this category. I don't care what you tell me. The facts do not matter.
Okay.
Though I am very confident in her winning, and she is my choice for the community win. There are a lot of great options here. It was mildly tough for me because I like a lot of these characters, and I was like, should I try to give them a chance over Mao Mao? Mao Mao won last year. Mao Mao was my pick last year, and ultimately I decided maybe if these girls wanted to win, they should have been Mao Mao.
True.
And so I voted for Mao Mao. Lots of highlights here, though. For some people that for sure aren't going to win, I want to shout out Yuki from the Shoshiman series. This is a show that was very interesting for me. It was a good mystery series. There were a lot of very dull moments in it, though, in my opinion. I do not care about how the coffee cup got in there without getting wet or whatever that whole third episode was. Like, the entire third episode was about that. Oh, my God. But Yuki really carried this. There was a lot of moments where they highlighted a potential sinister turn from her, and that ended up paying off very well. And I thought that, she was great in the way that she acted and the way that the show like directed around her and let us see her from the main guy's perspective and all of these different things I thought were wonderful. Shout out to Nina, who actually could win from Girls Band Cry, who I think is wonderful. Is Nina my? Nope, I forgot that Fryron's here. Um, um, you know what? Nah, fuck it. Nina is gonna win second. Nina's coming in second. I don't care if Fryron's here. Irrelevant. I'm throwing, but that's okay. I just think this is a really stacked category. Akane from Oshinoko, best girl in the series. I have a giant poster of her right here. Also the best actor in the series. There's a whole arc about it. We just watched it in season 2 about how she's better than Kana. It's like I think it's the lesson of it. I don't know. I didn't really pay. All I took from it was
points, but yeah, sure.
I was watching and I was like, oh, this is telling me Akane is the best. That's for sure the lesson I'm learning. You know, a lot of great people here. Momo's of course going to be popular, being from Dan to Dan and a great character. Yamada, Anna Yamada from Dangers of My Heart, as we know, apparently she has a whole army, and that is threatening. Rin was amazing. She could have been nominated like 5 different times on this list for her different little characters she plays. And the voice actress did an amazing job with
good.
that.
My best voice actress of the year.
Yeah. It had like one of my favorite, it's not even like a twist, but just something that went differently than I thought it was going to, like subversion of expectations with Rin, where I thought she was going to be jealous of the guy being attracted to her like characters. And she got jealous when he said he didn't like the characters anymore and just wanted to be with her because she had put so much of herself into them that she felt like she was being slighted. And that was not the way that I expected it to go. Frieren, I don't know if anyone watched that show or knows who she is, so I won't even speak about her because what are we thinking?
It's no contest, but I will say there were so many great female characters this year, and like they were just all badass women. Most of them could kill you. Most of them could protect you at the same time. All of them, really. Well, I don't know about Anna, but
she would eat you.
She would probably feed me and be like, here's protection. So
is Nina gonna like swing a lamp at people trying to threaten me or something? Is that
he's your bodyguard?
Social Media series was so fun. It was so unexpected how she was gonna be, and I just love the fact that she was just she appeared as this timid, sweet girl, and she's like literally like she can murder you. So I love them all, and I love characters like this who can just stand on their own and be badass and independent. Same with Momo. I loved her since episode 1. But let's be honest, this is no contest. Mao Mao, the queen, is number 1, and then Freeren's number 2. No contest. That's what it is. That's just the vibe I'm getting. I know a lot of people like Freeren, but Mao Mao's number 1.
Freeren has won every category it's been nominated for.
Here, my thought for Freeren not winning or getting runner-up is that I love Freeren as a character. I think she is wonderful. I think there is this great lost in time quality about her where she has this relationship with someone and she hasn't even figured that out yet, and it'll be too late when it does happen, but also she's doing a good job of like internalizing that and helping Fern and everything. I think people are like Fern more than Freeren. I think that is some percentage of people. I also think green hair.
Ubel.
Yeah. You know, I think people like Ubel.
They like her armpit.
Yep. I think people like Ubel. I don't know. Ubel, like, force of wills learns magic just because she's like, nah, I'd win, right? Like, and I think that is like, I don't know. I think Freeren has like a best girl competition within the show that is. Pete, tell us how Freeren won.
Okay, well, let's get to it. This was a 3-horse race, if I am not mistaken. Yes, it was a 3-horse race. So our runner-up with 17.4% of the vote went to Momo from Dandadan.
Okay.
Nice.
My runner-up went to Akane from Oshinoko. I thought she was the star of this season. I thought she absolutely killed it. I thought her development from season 1 to season 2 was so well done, and I love her character in this season. Kana for life, but this is Akane's time to shine, and I'm not afraid to say that. But Kana, best girl forever. Let's get to our community winner with 41.3% of the vote went to Mao Mao.
I was legitimately worried, even though there was no reason to be.
And my winner, slam dunk, best girl of the year, not even close, Yuki from Shoshiman series. Absolutely killed it. I loved her. I loved her so much. She was the twist at episode 9 blew me away. I loved her character. Miles is watching Science Gate right now. She reminds me of the Tutu girl, except she's way more evil. Like, I love Yuki. She blew me away with what she did in this series. I thought it was fantastic. The whole thing was a charade, and she is just this criminal mastermind living as a high school girl. I fucking love Yuki. Guys, your thoughts on best girl?
Is this a safe space?
It can be.
Okay, cool. No, I would never, of course, say this on the podcast, but please don't insult Yuki by comparing her to that Stein. I don't know why he cared she got shot so much. Anyways, we'll talk about that
next week.
Next week. She's fine. Yuki is wonderful.
I love.
And maybe it's probably the evil part that really makes the difference for me. I would guess. I think that's a good pick, Pete. As I was saying, like, she wasn't going to win the fan vote, so I'm glad that you gave her the shout out that she deserves here. She is not as good as Mao. So you were wrong. However, I do understand. Sometimes we make mistakes, and this is like a Bob Ross happy accident sort of thing, right?
I didn't pick Mao last year either.
I know. I'm aware. I remember.
Oh yeah, people don't forget.
We do not forget. But I'm happy Mao won. Would she have like 40% of the vote?
41.3. She had 45 total votes out of 109.
Okay, a little low, but
that's more than last year.
Yeah,
last year she had 28.1%. So she grew 13% this year.
Oh, well, maybe next year she'll grow even further.
She could Patrick Mahomes and three-peat this.
Yeah, she can, and I hope she does. Because do we have wrap-up thoughts here?
Who was the third?
Freerin.
Okay, I feel a little better. Okay, cool.
Shout out to Nina, who won in my heart.
Nina was 4.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Nina only lost to Freerin by 1 vote.
Oh, so it was a 4-horse race then.
I guess because I can't read. Yes, it was a 4-horse race.
Yeah, okay.
It was 100% a 4-horse race, but I can't.
It's late. We've been recording for a while.
It's been over 2 hours, so.
I'm glad the Anna army didn't win. Okay, that's a victory.
Let me tell you how many votes she had.
Oh shit! Well,
she had 1.
Wow,
that's crazy.
So the Anna from Too Many Losing Heroines had 4. So the other Anna had 4x the other Anna.
Well,
wow. I wonder what the psychology behind that is. Because, like, I mean, because Danger to My Heart has done pretty well, right? It's like runnered up a couple of things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And presumably that's entirely off of the back of her because
she's a huge part. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. We need the rankings in the video.
Yeah, maybe because it's like a more normie rom-com that overlaps with like Freerun and like Dan to Dan more or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
As opposed to another show. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of any sort of reason.
Well, it feels right. The right answer happened. So, yeah.
We prevailed. Okay. Well, we have made it to the last category, Anime of the Year. Before we get to this, real quick, we had 21 different answers for Anime of the Year, which I think was more than last year. And I want to give a shout out to all the shows that received 7 or more votes from the community. So that was Girls Band Cry, Apothecary Diaries, Bravern, Dan to Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, and Freerun. All received more than 7. So pretty good for how many number of votes we got. But before we get to the winners, I want to get your guys's runner-up and winner for your favorite animes of 2024.
Ooh.
Yeah, this it's so hard for me.
And I forgot to
Because
tell you before we recorded, so I probably should have given you a heads up that I was going to do this.
no worries. I will say the name of animes I liked this year. I
Yeah.
So for me, there are like three major standouts. There's of course the Apothecary Diaries. There is Dead Demons Destruction, and there is Girls Band Cry, and maybe something that I'm forgetting because I'm naming these off at the top of my head. However, those were three anime I gave a 10. I also gave Free Run a 10, though I think that is a little bit below these particular ones for me. I'm going to give my anime of the year for 2024 to Dead Demons Destruction. It was unlike anything I had ever seen before, especially with the character writing. I I had a great time watching it week to week. I think it was fast paced and interesting. It asked a lot of neat questions. It was super fun to talk about, and it really just hits a lot of Miles' notes with a lot of the plot devices and themes and stuff that are used. Has the two main female leads were some of my favorite characters ever. And my runner up will be the Apothecary Diaries, which I also love. I guess the reason for sort of breaking that off like that is, and I don't know. I have to make a decision. And to me, the Apothecary Diaries, while a great show, is mostly carried by Mau Mau. The other elements are good too, but what really makes it shine is Mau Mau as a singular character in my head. And so, as a full ensemble, I think I would give it to Dead Demons. Cosette.
Well, I know my top 5 of the year, so it's Apothecary Diaries, Frieren, Yatagarasu, Duelist System Dungeon, and Dead Demons. I know that 5 off the top of my head. However, I'm gonna change things up. I personally, and it's in my letterbox top 4, I'm putting Look Back as my number 1 anime of the year. It is one of my favorite one-shot mangas, and I saw the movie at least 4 times at this point. Within less than an hour, it gives you such an incredible story about friendship. It makes me cry every time. The soundtrack is amazing. It's less than an hour long. Everyone should watch it. It's on Prime. It was so beautifully well done that I have to give a shout out to it at least once in this episode. So I'm going to say Look Back, personally.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right on. And before we get your guys' guesses, I want to give a shout out to a show that was my number 5 show of the year, but couldn't really put it anywhere just based off of like reception. But it was a show that like it was pretty near and dear to my heart that I really enjoyed, and me and Cosette did a review on it, and that was Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. I absolutely adored that show. It reminded me a lot of A Place Further Than the Universe. It got some like mixed reception, but to me, it was a show that was super special. I absolutely love Jellyfish. So I wanted to give a shout out to that show as well. I guess I can run through some of my. I'll do it when I do my runner ups and stuff like that. So, guys, I need to get your runner up and community winner guesses for this year.
I'm ready to be wrong. I can't win mathematically. I'm down 4 points. The maximum points you get are 3. And so I am not going to try to win.
Okay.
I'm going to say what's in my heart. And my heart says that Apothecary Diaries is the winner, as well as should be. Because
Even
Mau
though
Mau
you didn't give it your anime of the year.
I think I voted for it. I don't know. It's hard for me. I mean, it could go either way. I'd have to really sit down and consider it. But I also am trying to get as many points as possible, and I don't think that the Demon's Destruction will be in the community vote. I just don't think enough people watch for it. So there's that. And then I'm going to go for Freeran for the runner up. Now, are these two probably swapped? Yes, but I am willing to make this concession and say that Apothecary Diaries won because I believe in a better future.
Okay.
Cosette.
Tough. It's probably Apothecary. I mean, Freeren's not winning anything this year, huh?
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
Not a single thing.
Yeah. I mean,
it did just lose Best Girl, so kind of washed.
Yeah, it did. And you know what? Danidan's doing a lot better than I thought. Surprisingly, actually. Oh, damn. Okay, I think it's still Apothecary's number 1. But the thing with Dan to Dan is that, yeah, it was good, but that Acrobatic Silky episode shook the world. And I think that gave it such a good edge. So, but you know what? The community loves Mau Mau, so I'm going to put her number 1, Apothecary Diaries, and number 2 will be Dan to Dan.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So real quick, I'll just do like my top 5. So 5 was Jellyfish, 4 was Konosuba Season 3, number 3 was Oshi no Ko. My runner-up for Anime of the Year was Dead Dead Demons. Absolutely loved it.
Nice.
Community runner-up with 12 votes
Ooh.
was Delicious in Dungeon.
Ooh. You love to see that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My Anime of the Year, along with the community, with 21 votes, went to Freerun. So Freerun back-to-back winners for Anime of the Year. Personally, for me, I do my the Darling in the Franxx rule. I don't count it until it's finished. So it didn't win last year, or it was even in my top 10 last year. I think it's a generational anime. I think it is going to be solidified as one of the best anime ever made going forward for the next, I don't know, 50 years. I think it is incredible what they do with that work. I think it is a S tier soundtrack, animation, character, cast, sound design, pacing, everything about Freerun. I just think is near perfection. Like it's my number 3 anime of all time. I adore it. I think it is so well done. And I think the community agrees too. So it wins back-to-back years. So congrats to Freerun. Guys, final thoughts on Anime of the Year or anything else that you forgot to say throughout this episode?
Yeah.
So Dandadan was third, by the way. It was
Okay.
by 1 vote. It had 11
Okay.
and Delicious in Dungeon had 12.
Okay. That's good. I like how flat that seems though, right? Like that's not a lot of votes for any particular show, right?
We
like
had 21 different shows.
Yeah.
So
That's
like
super cool.
I mean, you name it, it got. I mean, if it was like, I would say if it's like a top, there were some troll answers. We always get troll answers every year. We got Dragon Ball. Whether that was Daima, I don't know, but they just responded with Daima. Someone responded. Well, we figured out who it was, but someone responded with Mau Mau.
That's my wife.
My Hero Academia Season 7. Someone voted for My Happy Marriage, which did not come out last year.
Oh no, that person was just confused too. They must have just like mixed that up in their head.
Maybe, but we had a couple like answers where it's like,
I can't imagine someone trolling with My Happy Marriage.
No, but it's one of those votes where it's just like, well, because it's all anonymous, so I can't like go back and be like, hey, can you redo your vote type of thing. Where it's just like I don't know who these people voted for. So there's a couple shows that were like that. But yeah, I mean, with 21 different answers, 12 will probably get you second place. So just for reference, Freerun 21, Delicious Dungeon 12, Dan to Dan 11, Apothecary Diaries 8, and Girls Band Cry and Bravern both had 7.
Nice. Wow. Everyone has great taste. And I like that there was a nice mix. It wasn't like a landslide, I think. Like every show kind of got a bit of something.
Yeah.
Bravern at 7 is super cool. I think it's really neat to like show sort of like a cult following like sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like a show that I mean wasn't really on anyone's radar in like the larger scheme of everything. So
and hopefully next year we can get, I don't know, 150 votes, and maybe we can get a wider range, and Freerun will not be winning it because I'm almost certain it will not come out this year. So well, at least we'll have a new winner for Anime of the Year next year. I have a feeling that the people who voted for Freerun will probably be voting for Witch Hat Atelier, but we shall see when that drops. It's confirmed for 2025. We just don't know when and how many episodes it is. So we shall see. But I mean, this is a long ass episode. Miles and Cosette, I know you guys stayed up late to help me record. I want to say thank you to the both of you for taking time out of your night to do this. It means a lot. And as always, thank you for everybody who listens, who voted, who participates in any way possible. We raised a bunch of money. It's going to a great cause. Next year, we'll do it again as long as I have a job. Otherwise, Miles, can you spot me $20? And Trent might be out of work, so I can't pay him. But thank you guys so much. Any parting words to your adoring fans?
No, I mean, I would just want to thank everybody in the community. Our co-host Pat wasn't able to make it. He wanted to shout out the community other, and he said, that it became a big part of his life. And then also halfway through, he sent me all of his winners, and I haven't looked at them yet. So maybe he won secretly. I don't know.
I have a feeling he didn't. I think Pat watched 5 anime this year.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. But no, I mean, this is always fun to do. I love this every year. So thanks for having me on, Pete. And I'm always excited to get to record with the Cosette. So any parting words?
This was so much fun. And I like the fact that there's a nice, diverse opinion in the community. And I just want to give a shout out to the Discord group, because I think we all talk about seasonals very often, and we all recommend some shows to each other, and I really love the community, so I want to shout out them, because I feel like there's a lot of shows I probably wouldn't have started unless I saw them give a shout out to it on the chat. So shout out to the Discord community.
Yeah,
y'all are great. You're awesome.
Yes, thank you, everybody. And if you want to join it, all you gotta do is join our Discord. Links to that will be in the description below. On behalf of everybody, I want to say thank you again for a wonderful 2024, and we'll see you again in about 12 months for Anime of the Year 2025. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.